And here we go. It is the MJ Morning Show on a Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock exactly. Welcome, everybody. Tell you what, Fester and I had a conversation last night. Some of our listeners are nuts. Some of our... Well, hang on a second. Whoa. Yeah, hang on. I got to push buttons here. Yo, hang on. Your mic is all messed up also.
Yeah. Left speaker only.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me push. All right, Froggy, talk.
Check 1, 2.
All right, Fester, talk.
Check 1, 2.
All right, there we go.
No.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, all right, so button, I don't know who pushes buttons on this board. The board is all effed up. It has been, this thing could go dead at any minute. And for the last 2 years, your mics are... apparently, if your channels where the faders are, if they are set normally, you only come out of one side.
Makes sense.
So I have to push another button. I got to push left channel only to then mono it up. This place is a technological wreck, and we made the announcement. And listen, I'll believe it when I see it. But we made the announcement last week that we're getting the new control console that I asked for after they tried to renege on that and go with a much cheaper model. We're getting the actual we're getting the LXE model instead of the GSX, which is something that they promised me. So I was able to get that done. I'm told that we're getting the new studio in Q3 this year. Part of the problem is that our equipment is failing. It down the hall, the Wild Morning Show with Orlando, they about a month ago, they could not do their morning show for 2 days because their console, which is the exact one we have, died. And if we have a failure of the second piece of gear that runs 3 stations, then we're off the air too. I don't know what they're going to do.
Nah.
Because we've got 3 stations that run on the second brain. The first brain died and took 2 stations off. And then if the second brain dies, it'll take us off. It'll take Maxima, our Spanish station, off. And it'll take our country station, QIK, off. And can you imagine the scramble if they've got to get 3 other radio stations on the air? So right now it's a ticking time bomb. And we have to get our new studio up and running before the second control system potentially fails. So that's where we are. So we are getting the new equipment. I mean, I've had to jury rig Froggy's mic and your mic, Fester. I had a jury rig and push buttons to cheat to make you guys come out of both speakers instead of just one speaker for the last 2 years because something broke. And I mean, I had to figure this out myself, you know?
Speaking of brains and speaking of things not working, the coffee machine is out of order.
Yeah, I don't give a flying crap about that.
I know you don't.
I just care about being on the air.
Yeah, but you know what? You should care about it because honestly, I think coffee is one of those things that's integral to people's brains working properly. If you are addicted to caffeine, as I am.
Well, I mean, if that's the
What
case,
about people that are addicted to meth and cocaine?
Thank you very much.
Is that what you were going to say?
I was gonna go down the crack route. Crack. I mean, crack is integral to the morning functioning of somebody who's addicted to crack.
Crack,
Right?
yeah. Meth.
Meth. Right.
Right.
What else? What else would be
Heroin.
If you're addicted to something, then it's integral to your day. But Roxanne's right. We have a jalopy of a studio, and we have a jalopy of a coffee machine.
We have a dumpster fire of a studio.
All right.
Crack is whack.
Thank you, Whitney Houston, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking for that. I was looking for that sound.
Crack is whack.
All right, we're just getting rolling. Yes, Frog.
What?
No. Okay.
I thought you were about to say something.
No, I'm just resting my arm on my head.
Oh,
What, do you think I'm raising my hand?
No, I thought I heard a little mutter.
Oh, maybe I did a mutter.
He might have.
Mutter futter.
So, man, the controversy out of nowhere regarding Fester in his Depend undergarments yesterday and the little sly, sneaky, surreptitious picture that I snapped and then posted on my Instagram. I mean, a lot of people get the joke and they're like, laugh out loud funny, ha, ha, ha. Oh, that's great. And then I had a couple of people that are like, I'm never listening to you again. How dare you? All right, listen, I want to address this controversy. It is insane. Some people, some of our listeners or some of my, I would imagine if they're a follower on Instagram, that they're a listener as well. I mean, some people are just out of their freaking minds. People going ballistic and nuclear in the comments section on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio over the Fester shot of him sitting in the studio. And he had the Depend undergarments, the adult diaper.
Double X. Double X size 2XL.
Giant.
Yeah, they're really big.
All right, I'm going to address this head on about 7:30 this morning because that's when I talked about it yesterday after I had taken the picture of Fester here in the studio at about 7:15. It was during the commercial break, right before we went into the hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. And I posted the picture, told the story, and again, a lot of people, a lot of people are like, man, that's hysterical, that's funny. And then some were like, I'm never listening to you again. You suck. How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, what is going on here?
Well, they're
yes.
Yeah, they're just putting themselves in Fester's position. You took a breath. And I think that as long as Fester doesn't care, who cares? As long as Fester thought it was funny, who cares?
There is so much to this. My feelings aside, there's so much to this.
There's a whole other component as well. We have to historically go back and recognize something else that happened. But I want to address this major MJ Morning Show controversy head on, and we'll do it at around 7:30 this morning. There are a couple of elements that I have to bring to the table, and we'll do it at about 7:30. So stand by. I'm going to just blow this thing wide open book, just, peel back the Band-Aid and try to deal with this thing head on. But Fester, I spoke to Fester for like half an hour last night.
Oh, why so long?
It was really a long conversation. It was so long it got awkward.
Why? Will you stop it?
No, it was fine.
I was on my walk.
Yeah.
I was on my walk last night, and I called up Fester. In fact, you wouldn't answer your phone. I called you like 19 times yesterday. Would you have your phone on silent?
You know what? I do. I did. All day yesterday.
Did you see all the missed calls from me?
Yes.
What about the texts?
God, what a pain. Just blowing you up?
Well, I had to call Allison's phone.
Yeah.
I had to call Fester's wife's phone, and then finally Fester picked that up. Why did you answer your wife's phone?
Because she's talking with the kids, and her phone rings.
And you see it's me?
Well, I didn't.
Am I even in her address book?
She has you saved
as what? El Diablo?
No.
Un
poquito. No. She has saved under MJ, and then she looks at her phone and she goes, "Why the hell would he be calling me?" And she kind of takes her phone and throws it to me frisbee style, and it kind of cornered me right in the chest.
So
and
she doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, she knows that you don't normally call. I don't think you call her once a year.
Yeah, I was calling her.
Why do you resort to calling wives when you need to get a hold of us?
Because Fester's phone, as I imagine, was on silent, and that was the only way to get a hold of Fester.
Right.
All right, 6:09, MJ Morning Show just getting rolling. Tuesday morning, pretty busy show today. I wouldn't miss a minute. Traffic's on. Here's Pat with the latest. Hello. MJ, Froggy, Roxanne, Fester, 6:20. It is Tuesday morning. I am mystified about something, and no, it's not the sperm whale that has expired off Venice. However, I am fascinated by that. I'm not mystified, I'm fascinated. So we will discuss. Oh, did you see the warning? They don't want people in the water. Like in a pretty good chunk of real estate surrounding where that whale beached itself. That's a big freaking wheel, like 44 feet long, 70. How do they know it weighs 70 tons? Or what? I mean,
they kind of have a rough idea how much these things weigh.
Yeah, but anyway, that seems a little heavy. Anyway,
for a whale. I mean, they're pretty big.
70 tons, man. That's
pretty meaty.
I'm trying to figure out what is the weight of like a fully loaded tractor trailer. Isn't that about the same thing?
Yeah, pretty close.
Why don't they push that thing on the beach and let it explode?
Well,
isn't that what they do?
They towed the whale into shore. It was like beached, I think about 50 yards out, and they used like a backhoe to drag it in, and they're performing a necropsy, an animal autopsy on this thing, and with like blood and like blubber and body fluids.
Oil.
Yeah, and that getting into the water, they felt that there was a severe danger of tons of sharks coming in and being attracted.
Oh, yeah.
And they are warning people, down in Venice, stay out of the water, shark!
That's a way to chum it up.
Come on, Modi, go for a swim. Come on.
That's exactly it. So like a chumming of the waters, and they're afraid that that's going to attract a whole bunch of sharks. And the last thing you want is swimmers in the water. So they initiated like a no swim zone near where this whale beached itself. Just terrible. It's very rare. There's a sperm whale, and they're usually way offshore. So clearly something medically wrong with the whale. They said severely underweight. So if they estimated this thing at like 70, can you look it up, Fester? I thought I saw it like on the news, 70 tons?
Sounds like a whale murder to me.
70 tons. That's like, what, 140,000 pounds?
Yeah, what do you want to know? The average weight of a...
No. I want to know, what is the... Bring up the story on the weight of the whale. Actually, I might have it in my pile.
Maybe Moby Dick got him with a big, long spear. Isn't that what he used? Or a harpoon?
Something like that. Never read the book, Captain Ahab.
What kind of whale was it?
Sperm whale?
Oh, my favorite.
Why?
It's just,
Is that the largest of all animals in the world?
No, it's a...
I can't
it's a
find...
titmouse.
No. Stop it. I can't find my story. I hear. Bring that up right there. Fox 13. All right.
The Antarctic blue whale is the largest, Fester.
Okay, blue whale.
All right,
okay.
so bring up the story. Scroll. Look for numbers in there. I thought it was like 70. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Not tons. 70. 70.
You actually double the weight of a whale.
Did I say 70 tons? 70,000 pound whale.
That makes more sense.
Which is 35 tons.
But still, that's a large whale. 70,000 pounds?
Yeah, whales aren't known for being little.
I know that, but that still just seems like a hell of a lot. Anyway, I'm sad about the whale. Kind of sucks, but listen, it's nature. Clearly, the whale had some issues, some type of health problem, underweight, and the whale just didn't make it.
It's tough to get that plankton sometimes.
Of all the weeks for a whale to beach itself in Florida.
Spring break.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Not that Venice is a hot spot.
Yeah, I don't think Venice is a total hotspot for spring breakers. I am mystified by a gas theft story. Now, I had this yesterday. I just didn't get around to it. And it's not local, although we've had our share of gas thefts. When I say gas thefts, Fester, what are some of the old rackets that come to mind that have occurred locally?
I remember there was a guy that had an enclosed lawn trailer.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't just a guy. There were numerous scoundrels that pulled that off.
And you had a box lawn trailer, and he would pull over the metal caps where they put the gas in the ground.
In the parking lots of the gas stations where you have those metal like manhole cover things. A lot of times they're different colors for the different grades of gas. And when you drive over those in the gas station parking lots, they go clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah, but in some lots, they're off to the side where you really wouldn't draw that much attention if you just stayed there for 10 minutes on top of it.
And over the years, there have been numerous cases where people in trucks, like a step van, or again, like a enclosed lawn care kind of service trailer, or just a trailer,
a car trailer,
and
anything.
They would have a trap door in the bottom, and they would pull over the gas pumps or the filler caps, and they would then put siphons into the tank. They'd drive over, open up the trap door from being concealed inside, and they would open the trap door in the trailer and then lift up the little manhole covers in the gas station parking lots and then drop like siphons down or pumps into the tank to then suck the gas out and put the gas into containers inside the trailer and rip off hundreds and hundreds, or if not thousands of gallons of gas. And that's happened around here. That's not this racket. I'm trying to figure this damn thing out. This is out of Lincoln, Nebraska. A gas station in Lincoln finally fixed what they're calling a glitch, which allowed a woman, Dawn Thompson, 45 years old, to steal over $27,000 worth of free gas.
That sounds like a lot of gas.
That is a lot of gas. When you think, if you've got a standard SUV and you put regular gas in that thing, based on current prices, 20 gallons, $3? I mean, what did you fill up? 73 and change? What are you, like $70 dollar fill up or whatever?
Something.
And this woman, $27,000. Dawn Thompson, 45. Police said she used a loophole to exploit the pump for more than 6 months. Lincoln police got a call from the loss prevention manager of the company that owns Pump and Pantry.
Okay.
What a terrible name.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Pump and Pantry. So what is that? Oh, the pump is for the gas. The pantry's for all the crap inside the convenience store. Is that
it's cute?
It's Pump and Pantry.
I think it sounds like you're going to sneak in the pantry and do something you shouldn't be doing.
What, you're getting pumped in the pantry? Is that what you're thinking, Roxanne?
Pump it.
You going all dirty on me over here?
I mean, that's what Pump and Pantry like.
You ever get pumped in the pantry?
That's how she knows what she needs for the family. Doug, we're out of granola bars.
There you go.
Take me now.
So the loss prevention manager of the company that owns Pump and Pantry, they get a hold of the police and they say, hey, we got a problem here. The cops then get involved. They investigate, and they learn that the fuel pumps received a software update in November of 2022. And the update managed orders and reward cards. A lot of stations have the gas rewards and everything. And I guess this opened up a loophole that this woman figured out. The company did not know this, that the update was exploitable. It allowed anyone to swipe a rewards card twice to enter the pump into the demo mode. It's like a service mode or demo mode. So if you swipe the card twice, it like opened up the pump to manipulation digitally with the keypad.
How would...
From there, the user could pump gas for free. So you had the rewards card. For instance, I'm trying to think. Up in, what's the gas station up in New England? I had the Irving. Irving. There's like Irving gas stations up in New England. And I actually have the Irving rewards card. And they're at different places.
Almost every gas station locally has them. The racetrack has them. Wawa has them.
They're the physical card?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. And so if you swipe the card twice, some computer programming glitch put the pump into like a service or demo mode, and then you were able to pump your gas for free. This lady did it between November of 2022 and June of last year, and they're saying the woman stole an estimated 7,413 gallons of gasoline. And if you look at the average price, the total loss to the gas station was about $27,860. Wow. How do you not know? How do you not calculate or know that you've got a major discrepancy? I mean, finally they figured it out, obviously.
It's almost 400 Phillips.
Is that amazing?
Wow.
Court records show that the rewards card also accrued minimal rewards points because it wasn't being used to actually pay for gas. So the rewards card account knew that nothing was being paid for. But, I mean, how devious. And it was a woman. I would have said, this is a guy thing. A guy would have figured this out. A woman, Dawn Thompson, 45 years old. That's grand theft. That's some serious stuff.
Did they only catch her because she had her real name associated with her account?
Say that again?
Did they only catch her because they knew this rewards card went to one particular person? If you gave a fake name or a fake number or something, they would never have caught her.
Yeah, also, I guess she was taking, like, cash from people to put gas into their vehicles.
That's the scam.
For a much lesser amount. Hey, give me $20, you can fill your car up. And I'll do it for you. So, man, what a mess. That's insane. I just can't believe that it happened for that amount of time. And what kind of a software update on the gas pump allows you to take your rewards card, swipe it 2 times, and then enter into a demo mode and pump your gas for free? Whoever that computer programmer is, whoever did that work, fire their asses, man. That's a crazy loophole. 6:32 at the MJ Morning Show. If you stand by, folks, we got a good dose of early morons in the news next. Now, if your air conditioning... Oh, man, don't tell my kids about this story. Although they both, if not listening live, they generally catch up on the podcast within a day or so. So, hey, Chloe. Hey, Julian. Thanks for listening. Got a D's Nuts story.
Oh, I saw that one. I knew that wouldn't pass you by. I knew you'd see it.
Yeah, I had this in the pile yesterday.
Yeah.
We just had a high density of morons on the news, so I didn't get around to this yesterday. A guy by the name of D's Nuts has been arrested in a domestic violence situation. This guy in Wisconsin legally had his name changed to D's Nuts.
That's going to be a popular prison name.
Hey, did we ever figure out what the origin? Was it a comic? Where did the whole D's nuts?
I don't know.
Come from? D's, Deez, nuts, Nuts. D's nuts. All right, Fester's like Googling it now. The origin of D's nuts.
Would you believe me if I told you that there's a small Wikipedia entry for D's nuts?
I would not doubt that at all. Of course, there's a Wikipedia entry for everything.
Ooh, are you seeing what I'm seeing, Fester?
I don't know. Go ahead. I don't know.
The origins of D's nuts can be traced back to a song by Dr. Dre. D's nuts.
You know what? I think we might have mentioned that a while ago. It just didn't stick in my memory bank. Check this out. Wisconsin guy who legally changed his first name to D's Nuts. So his name on his driver's license is D's Nuts Kroll. Last name Kroll. He's been arrested following a domestic violence confrontation. Busted last week for battery and disorderly conduct, both misdemeanors, according to a criminal complaint which includes a Green Bay, Wisconsin Police Department officer's observation that D's nuts appear to be highly intoxicated.
Yeah, Mr. Nuts. Was his last name Nuts?
No. His first name is D's Nuts.
You said D's nuts are highly intoxicated. What have they been dipped in? Brandy or?
Exactly. Oh. Yeah, his last name is Kroll, so it would be Mr. Kroll. His first name is D's, Deez hyphen nuts, Nuts. Police allege that D's Nuts Kroll punched and shoved his daughter and then got into an altercation with her boyfriend at their home. According to the complaint, Kroll accused his daughter of failing to do a small household chore.
Come on.
And take care of their puppies.
You're in the Nuts family. We do chores around here.
No, it's not. That's not their last name.
I mean, it should be.
Kroll.
It's the Kroll family.
My middle name isn't Nuts.
At one point, cops alleged that Kroll, who was, I guess, not wearing a shirt. I don't know why that's the police. Pulled out a BB gun that looked like a pistol. Anyway, he was, I guess, pointed it at the daughter, pointed it at the boyfriend.
Jeez.
He was born Derek. So Derek legally changed his name to D's Nuts back in 2011, according to court records.
I'd change my name to D's Nuts, too, if I were a Derek. No offense, Rox.
Oh, listen to this. Originally, it was Des Nuts. Originally, it was Deez. And then 6 years ago, he added the extra E, making it Deez nuts. Isn't it a D? Did he do it wrong the first time back in 2011?
Yeah. D's as in D's nuts is a double E.
What a schmuck.
You could change your name to anything? Literally anything?
I mean, if a judge approves it, yeah.
I would call Julian now, but it's not an 8 o'clock class day for him. Because Julian knows all the D's nuts jokes. Hey, Fester, do a search quickly for D's nuts jokes. Because, my kids have rolled out hundreds of D's nuts jokes over the years. And, they still think it's hysterical. But I can't remember one of them.
There's a brand of peanut called D's Nuts.
Are they really?
I think so.
Oh, the Wendy. Here, this is one the kids have used on me. Excuse me, do you like Wendy's?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Because you're going to love it when D's nuts hit you in the face. So that's...
Oh, gross.
How's that a joke?
Please don't.
I'm confused, too.
It's when... Excuse me, do you like Wendy's?
Wendy's.
Wendy's nuts hit you.
Okay.
So those are an example of the D's nuts jokes.
Clever stuff.
Which my kids find hysterical. Laughing like they're 8-year-olds still. So I would call Julian because he can whip off the D's nuts jokes all day long. However, this is not an 8 o'clock class day for Julian. In fact, he and a bunch of his fellow film students went to a 10:30 showing of Dune 2 in New York City last night.
Cool.
Yeah. So
do you remember that guy named Willia?
Willia who?
Willia put these nuts on your?
Oh, stop! Don't say that.
That's a long last name.
Yeah.
But those are the D's nuts jokes.
These are really low level jokes.
They are. They're ridiculously low level.
Excuse me, Froggy.
Yes.
But do you like pudding?
Pudding what?
Well,
No, you're supposed to say yes. I love pudding.
Oh yeah, I love pudding.
Well,
snacks.
how about putting these nuts?
Oh, stop! You can't. Don't say the rest.
What kind are they?
Those
Cashews.
Those are the D's nuts. I don't typically do
D's nut stories.
No,
we don't,
well,
no.
that as well. But I typically don't do foreign stories. But again, and it's like always the Chinese. Why? A flight in China was delayed for 4 hours after, again, a passenger threw coins into the engine. These are flights where you walk out onto the ramp and then you take the steps. You know, they have the stair truck, or, you know, you walk up the stairs from the actual ramp. You know, some people call it the tarmac. Pilots don't. It's called the ramp. But, you know, you have at airports, you've got the jetways where you walk on the jetway to the airplane. And then we've all probably been to airports where you actually sometimes even take a bus out to a plane and you walk the steps up. And for whatever reason, the Chinese believe that it's good luck to throw coins. It's like throwing coins in the Trevi fountain.
Make a wish
in Rome or something. Yeah, 3 coins in the Trevi fountain. So for whatever reason, Chinese people think that it's good luck. Your flight is going to be safe. You're going to arrive alive if you throw coins into the engine at the airport, if you're able to walk near the engine and then walk up the stairs. It's like, what are you, nuts? Throwing metal coins into the jet engine is not going to bring you good luck. In this case, it'll bring you a 4-hour delay as they got to try to get the damn coins out of the engine. That's because you could shred the fan blades, cause the engine to flame out, cause a crash. What imbeciles think it's a good idea to throw coins in the freaking engine?
There's about 1.5 billion of them.
Well, I think it'd be 1.5 billion. I think is the.
I don't know if that's right, but it sounds right.
I mean, just absolute pure insanity. You know, and I typically don't do these, you know, foreign stories, but there's just another incident, and these happen quite a bit. I can't even wrap my head around who would think that throwing coins in an engine is even remotely a smart thing to do. It was China Southern Airlines flight CZ 8805. And again, some idiot traveler, oh man, I'm going to make sure my flight is safe. Let me throw these good luck coins into the engine as I walk by, as I'm boarding the aircraft. Just a sheer idiocy. All right, early morons in the news on the MJ Morning Show. Hey, Froggy, something you believe in is again debunked. Something you believe, I'm sure this is going to be an argumentative issue. I'm sure you're going to call me an idiot and an imbecile, but there is something that you've been very passionate about. There is a new report out, and again, it says that your belief in this is bonkers, all right?
Can't wait to hear it.
Hang on. We're going to dive into it the minute we get back here on the MJ Morning Show. So what is it that Froggy believes in, talks about all the time, but a new report is out that throws cold water on Froggy's belief? Hold on. That's next. In minutes on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. My friend. 7 o'clock exactly at the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Well, I guess I can't do the Froggy-related item because Froggy's not in the studio. Did he text anyone that he was involved in some personal activity that was going to keep him away from the studio for an extended period of time by any chance? Check your text, please. No? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do my other item first while we wait for Froggy to come back to the studio. All right. We need to get one of those Apple AirTags on him. That's what, seriously.
We could use one on everybody here, except for you, of course.
Well, because I don't leave the studio. I'm in the studio for 4 hours straight every morning. I barely walk out of here. Hey, this caught my attention. It's a Florida item. A woman was missing for days. Do you know where they found her?
Where?
They found her trapped in a shipping container. And she was banging on the door. I guess nobody heard her for days. This is out of Cocoa, which is... Oh, have you seen... Fessa, you have... Cocoa Beach?
Yes.
They're spending a fortune marketing Cocoa Beach, trying to get people from over here to go over there. Have you seen all the billboards?
You know, I've seen them, and don't fall for it, people. Because I'll tell you right now,
here's a surf shop, and that's it.
There's Ron John Surf Shop,
John.
which is a cool destination.
Right.
There's the Space Center and that kind of activity near Cocoa, and nothing else. It sucks.
I went fishing.
Yeah, I mean, there's beaches. Okay, there's beaches in Clearwater. There's beaches in Sarasota.
Let me call Ken, our general sales manager, and make sure that is Coco buying commercials, because they're buying TV ads. I'm seeing ads for go to Cocoa Beach, Florida. That's popping up on like some of the ads on the streaming video stuff that I see. Michelle and I are watching, the old Columbo episodes on Freevee, and the commercials that pop on every 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so. They're running a whole TV campaign for Cocoa Beach. If you drive on the interstates, I saw like on, was it 275? I saw like 2 billboards in a row, like one, and then like 100 yards later, there was another one for, Cocoa Beach. Folks, you've seen them.
Get loco in Cocoa.
Yeah, it's not even that cool, Froggy. I mean,
I had a basketball tournament there once. It wasn't that great.
When you were in junior high school?
Yeah. That's the last time I was there.
Okay.
I bought a boogie board at Ron John's.
We went there last year for spring break. I took the kids to Kennedy Space Center, and we stayed in Cocoa.
Boring.
And there's a pizza joint, and it said, best pizza in Cocoa. I'm like, let's go there. We do. We find out it's the only pizza place in Cocoa. I'm like, well, crap.
I guess when Michelle took the kids over for the second to last space shuttle launch, this was, a while ago. It was, over 10 years ago, 12 years ago? More than that. 2010, 20? What was the last shuttle launch? 2010, 2011? So the second to last launch, here we go. The space shuttle completed, let's see, final mission, is that right? Final launch of space shuttle, July 21st of 2011. All right, so I was right in the ball game. Michelle took the kids, I think, to the second to last launch, and they stayed. Remember the story? They stayed at that motel in Cocoa, and do you remember that Michelle had a whole bag of snacks, like the little energy bars and just the little like
Cliff bars or
Cliff bars or the little individual packets of goldfish. And in the middle of the night, Michelle heard like rustling noises, and like all the food was chewed open by rats that were crawling around in their motel room. And I remember, dude, we called them live on the air because Michelle was over there. She called me horrified because we were doing the morning show on the other station, and Michelle called horrified. Oh my God, you're not going to believe this. And we called the motel live on the air, and we demanded that Michelle get refunded, and they did. They didn't charge her for the room. There were rats crawling around the room while they were sleeping, going through the bag of snacks that Michelle had on like one of the dressers or windowsill or whatever.
Yeah, Coco's not putting that on billboards.
Yeah.
It's a dump of a town. It really is.
All right, it's not that bad.
It's nothing there.
Yeah, I've never been to Cocoa. I mean, I've driven by. Like, also, Merritt Island is nearby, right?
Merritt Island, Titusville.
Yeah, that whole area.
All of them.
But they're spending a fortune, like with advertising, billboards, and there's another billboard, and I'm seeing it more and more. Folks, before I get to the actual story of the lady trapped inside the shipping container, before I get to that, there's another billboard that's popped up all over town, and it's for the Epoch Times.
Like real news,
right?
EPOCH,
right? Some people say Epic, but I've heard journalists call it Epoch. So some say Epic. It's EPOCH, and there are billboards that are popping up all over the Tampa Bay area. Epoch or Epic Times, #1 trusted news. That is BS. It is a total conspiracy-laden website and news operation. It is not the #1. It just shows that you can just put whatever the hell you want on a billboard or advertise anything. And, it takes, a show like this to call you out. It is not The Epic or Epoch Times is not #1 trusted news source. It is a conspiracy-laden garbage operation, in my opinion. So ignore those billboards that are popping up around town. All right, back over to the lady trapped in a shipping container.
Yeah, the very serious story.
A missing woman here in Florida was found alive and safe late last week after banging on the door of a shipping container she was trapped in. Marlene Lopez was reported missing on Wednesday of last week. She was found the next day just before noon in the shipping container next to a business. Lopez, 52, was trapped in the container for almost 72 hours.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's like 3 days.
Yikes.
When asked how it happened, she said, "Oh, no."
Was she abducted? Did she walk
No.
in it? I mean, what happened?
She said, "I was in one place and found in another." This is bizarre.
Okay, have you guys seen the clothes that she's wearing?
Yes.
She's wearing like a Baby Yoda shirt. Is that a Baby Yoda shirt?
He's so cute.
And then like I guess those are stretchy. They've got to be pajama pants because they have some sort of character looking thing print on them.
Okay.
So was she in her pajamas when she ended up in this place?
I don't know. But the public information officer for the Cocoa Police Department told Wesh TV in Orlando that she was in a not so good state of mind where they could talk to her to get the situation straight. It seems very mysterious. Yeah. The people who owned the shipping container ended up going in to secure it for the night, not knowing she was in there, apparently. And they're saying that it might have been just a case of wrong place, wrong time. Nobody knew she was in there.
Is she homeless where she was looking for a place to stay and she was just being quiet, waiting for them to come in and out?
72 days later, or hours rather. 70.
She wouldn't be banging after 72 days.
That's right. Correction. 72 hours later, somebody finally heard her banging on the shipping container. You know, these are these big metal shipping containers that they have on the top of the ship decks, or you'll see on the back of flatbed tractor trailers. And she was stuck in there for 72 hours. She was reported missing after a coworker called police concerned that she hadn't picked up her son.
Yeah, that's an indication that something's wrong.
Yeah. The owner of the business and the container where she was found believes that she wandered in and passed out. No word whether this is an alcohol-related incident, but that's nuts. 72 hours later, she's finally found locked inside one of those metal shipping containers.
Yeah, the owner apparently saw her walking around the business. He uses the container to lock up a lawnmower, and she just wandered in there and hid or passed out.
On to the Froggy issue here.
Okay.
Froggy, how many UFO YouTube channels do you follow?
Oh, numerous. I'd say close to 150 or so.
All right, Fester, why don't you come over here?
Okay.
Come around to my side here, because I want to whisper in your ear exactly what Froggy's reaction is going to be.
What? That's so stupid. Why don't you just have me cover my ears?
Good idea.
All right, here we go. All right, hang on, let me turn. Roxanne, can you talk for a second while I just whisper something to
Yes.
Fester?
I didn't know MJ had the capability of whispering. He usually, talks at such high volumes, but he's whispering away right now. He's getting real close to Fester,
Please,
just
you're a bunch
whispering
of
little
idiots.
sweet in his ear.
You don't know how I'm going to react to nothing.
Froggy,
What?
a new report is out. There is no evidence of a governmental UFO cover-up.
That's a conspiracy. That's a lie. That is not real.
All right.
Well, let me give you the details. UFO sightings have nothing to do with anything extraterrestrial on planet Earth.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. What else is it then? Weather balloons? What year is this?
For the past couple of years, the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, that's the AARO, has been digging into all the UFO videos that have been popping up and all the sightings in recent years. They finally came out and said that it is nothing.
Yeah.
There are no alien spaceships that have been spotted on planet Earth. There are no aliens running amok among us.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What would you expect them to say? All this stuff's starting to come out.
That is a good point.
All right. And now they're like, oh, God, the public is getting kind of freaked out. We got to put out a statement immediately.
The unclassified 63-page report goes on to state there's no evidence, Froggy, of the government or any other operation to conceal, to cover up any type of extraterrestrial activity, extraterrestrial technology.
Lies.
Because there are some people that believe that the government is in possession of extraterrestrial technology and that we're trying to reverse engineer it.
Area 51. You're the idiot stupid head that does the stupid ass that believes that.
What did I whisper in your ear?
Dumbass.
MJ said, Froggy's going to call me a sucker and or a rube.
An idiot.
Yeah, he is a stupid rube.
A moron.
A rube.
So that's what I whispered into Fester's ear.
But really, what do you expect him to say? That's my question to you.
I mean, what are you talking about? It's all true.
It's true. Everybody freak out.
Of course, that's the response. And I totally expect you to say, of course, they're going to come out with a report saying there are no extraterrestrials, no alien spaceships flying around Earth, no aliens, no technology hidden in secret hangars at secret Air Force bases around the country. I knew exactly what you were going to say, Froggy, but
I'm reading a great book. It's called Project Blue Book, and you should check it out. I'll let you borrow it.
Project Blue Book goes back to like the 1950s and 60s.
Yeah, that's when it all started.
There it is. All right, Froggy, there are no aliens on this planet.
Okay.
So you think that there are aliens and tech among us right now?
Yes, of course there is. You stupid little rube.
Rube is just a good insult.
He's like at the carnival and he keeps shooting at the basketball hoop that's too narrow. I'll make it eventually. What a rube.
Or throwing the softballs into the wicker basket.
Yeah.
And they're positioned so they just bounce right out, right?
You have to reverse toss them.
Yeah. Or trying to throw the rings on the milk bottle necks,
the milk cartons they get to knock over, but they're glued together.
The metal milk bottle. Yeah, the metal milk bottles. It's 7:14 at the MJ Morning Show. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next. We have to address the Fester controversy. Man, we've got some crazy listeners, man. We got some folks that are absolutely nuts out of their minds.
Let's not go there just yet.
Well, hold on. We've got a big, giant controversy that began on this show yesterday at about 7:30, and I've got to address this problem head on, all right? And that's next on the MJ Morning Show, and a lot more because we do an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. So don't move. We're back in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show. If you're looking for... Have you ever heard this before?
No, it sounds like a banjo, but with a voice.
Some listeners sent me this link and asked me, have you ever heard of Mongolian techno throat singing?
No, it sounds like a mouth harp.
That's what it is. All he's doing is making noise in his throat.
Like guttural. It's like.
I like it.
No. The microphone's in his mouth, right?
I guess.
That's it?
He's going to get polyps.
It's almost like a. You know, it's like a vocal, like Australian Aborigine didgeridoo or something. You know what we ought to do? Hey, Andrew, do me a favor. Check the log. Here's what I want you to do. 12 noon. All right? Go check the log at 12 noon. Top of the hour. You know, Q105, Tampa Bay. And what song is scheduled for 12 noon, top of the hour, Andrew?
Oh, I bet you it's Jack and Diane.
What is it?
Kiss by Prince.
So 12 noon today. Hey, do you have the? Do me a favor. Hey, Andrew, bring up the jingle pieces. Bring up like the talk over top of the hour bed. We never use it here on the morning show, but bring up the top of the hour talk over, and then like the jingle closer. You know, the Tampa Bay's Q105. You know, bring up that little thing. Let me know when you have it, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to secretly replace Kiss by Prince at 12 noon with Mongolian techno throat vocal. What do you think?
I'm not sure how secret it is now. Sounds like Mongolian bird singing.
All right, Andrew, do you have the top of the hour jingle parts ready to go? Do you have those? Let me know when you have them. Because Roxanne's on the air. You're on the air at 12 noon.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, well, I guess I've kind of let the cat out of the bag.
No, only for a couple of listeners. You know, the ones who are listening now will know. If you're not listening now, you don't know. It's okay.
And our program director, Rick, is out of town because his daughter got married out west. So he's out of town this week. So he won't know.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you have the jingle parts ready to go?
Let's give it a try. I have them ready, but I don't know how this is going to work.
We
want to do it the way it sounds on the air. All right, so hit the first part. Go ahead. Go ahead and hit it. All right, Roxanne, do your thing. Go ahead.
Q105 is WRBQ HD1 Tampa, a Beasley Media Group station. I'm Roxanne Wilder. We're kicking off another hour of the 80s, 90s, and more. Blah, 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 blah.
There you go.
I like it. Let's do it.
Sounds like an Illuminati ritual.
Yeah, right?
Eyes wide shut.
No, this is called Mongolian throat singing.
Mongolian techno throat singing.
Now remove your clothing.
I'm expecting to find like decapitated chickens or something, you know?
You know what? Next money contest, the Mongolian money giveaway.
Yeah.
When you hear the...
I think people would keep it locked just to see what was like if I was having a meltdown. Like, what's Roxanne doing playing this song? I don't think they could turn it off.
All right.
So I typed Mongolian throat singing into the Google.
Right.
And a bunch of videos popped up on YouTube.
Really?
It's also called Tuvan. Tuvan?
Tuvan.
Tubin?
Tuvan throat singing.
All right, 7:32 at the MJ Morning Show. We are in the middle now of an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. Let us now deal with a controversy which emerged yesterday on this program, and it all stemmed from something that happened right about this time yesterday after I took a picture of Fester as disheveled as ever, actually even more so, because Fester had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction because I took an image, a picture of Fester wearing... Fester, were those actual Depend undergarments or was that a different brand?
They were, in fact, Depend brand.
Of course.
Is there another brand?
Well, they had like the store brand and a couple of off brands, and then they had a couple of just like like drip catching pads, and I don't want those.
You could use like those doggy pee pads.
Yeah, well, not for
Yeah, wee pads.
Yeah.
If I was standing over it, spread eagle, then yes, maybe possibly. But
Here's the problem: it still remains the first item. I haven't posted anything on Instagram since about this time yesterday. And there's a picture. It's a little slideshow. It's 2 pictures. So you have the first one, then swipe to the left, and then you'll see the second, which is a close-up. And it's Fester in the studio, and Fester has his pants are falling down, his shorts falling down a bit, and then you can see these gray adult diapers.
that's the stretchy waistband part for the snug comfort fit.
Folks, Fester is not angry about this, but some of the listeners have gone freaking haywire ballistic on me. I'm never listening again. How dare you? That was mean. So Fester is like a disheveled mess. He's in the studio, and he's wearing an adult diaper yesterday.
I had to because of my previous week's experiences.
So
It was a one-day thing.
Fester does not have an incontinence problem. It's not like I'm not making fun of Fester with some kind of a medical issue that he can't control that is long-term.
A chronic issue.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Chronic.
Yes, well.
All right. So Fester, for whatever reason, the last like 4 to 5 days or so, has had a stomach deal. And Fester, you were out last Thursday and Friday.
I missed 2 days. I hate missing days on the show, but I missed 2 days here.
Fester's been one of the more reliable members of the MJ Morning Show historically over the years. You know, going back to the mid-'90s when you joined MJ and BJ, and then all through the transition to the MJ Morning Show.
Not lately, though. Twice this year I've had a bout with this stomach thing.
Well, you were out
In January. I missed a couple days.
you were hospitalized.
They put like 5 liters of fluid in me.
Exactly. Very dehydrated. So Fester says to me, the only way that I'm going to be able to come to work on Monday and be comfortable is that you're going to have to take precautions.
Yeah.
And apparently the precautions were that you went to Walmart and you bought some Depend undergarments. And again, I'm not making fun of a long-term chronic medical issue here. Fester has some kind of stomach bug or norovirus or something, and I'll say it, Hershey squirts. All right?
Thank you.
All right?
I mean, I'll tell you this much.
Right.
Whatever it was, it seems to have cleared up finally by yesterday late afternoon.
So Fester, in order to come to the show, because he couldn't control what might happen, Fester took the prophylactic measure of putting on an adult diaper, a large Depend undergarment to coat himself, to protect himself in case there was a backdoor blowout. All right? So
I can't trust what I think is going to happen in that part of my body.
Because it's a little bit of a trek down the hall. There was no indication, there was no reliable possibility of you being able to make it to the restroom in time, so you put this barrier for load protection.
Load protection,
Roxanne, are you entertained over here?
Yeah.
Any accidents?
seepage mitigation. I mean,
How many different words can you use to describe this excrement?
that word also, Roxanne, thank you.
Listen, I give Fester a ton of credit for not calling in sick again and coming up with this solution that, how much were the Depend undergarments? I mean, you went to Walmart and what was it, $20 a box? How much?
Maybe a little bit. No, it was under $20 for the pack that I got. I didn't get the largest pack. I got a smaller pack. But I still have like 11 of them left over, or like 2 dozen, something like that. I have a bunch left over.
Are you wearing one again today?
So no, because whatever the stomach bug was, it cleared up yesterday.
Right.
However, the predictability of what's going to happen, and everybody has a pretty good body predictability of what's going to happen and when and all that stuff, that was out the window for me all last week and certainly yesterday morning. So I thought this would be a good catch-all, no pun intended.
Fester had a good solution. You took matters into your own hands. You solved the problem. You had a preventative measure of wearing the adult diaper. You were...
Roxanne!
Sorry about that.
That was the loudest sneeze I've ever heard you. It's like you deliberately screamed at the end.
You're right.
Are you always a screamer when it comes to sneezing?
In privacy, yes.
Roxanne's a screamer.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
So Fester put on the diaper, was wearing it yesterday, and you had it pulled up, but
All right.
what your Hawaiian shirt for the bulk of the morning was covering it, but then I noticed, what did you do to have it all hiked up and not realize it? So that's when I noticed. I'm like, my God, he's wearing this Depend undergarment. I took a picture. I put it up on Instagram, and then not all, a lot of people like, oh my God, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Hysterical, LMAO, laughing my ass. So a lot of people liked it, but then some were like, MJ, you're the worst human on the planet. I'm never listening to you again. This is, I mean, some people went freaking nuts on me.
Who cares? First of all. Second of all, you're such a backtracking ass. Because yesterday you were laughing so hard. And now you're like, I commend Fester for that. He's a big thinker.
I'm still laughing.
You're backtracking.
Look at the big brain on Fester.
The big brain on
So
I meant to take a picture of his brain, but I got the diapers in it too.
Big brain on him.
the image in question, the offending picture, is on my Instagram, and there are people like, MJ, I demand you take this down. All right, let me get something straight here. Froggy took a nude photo of Fester in Froggy's family's beach home at Reddington Beach.
That can't be topped.
All right,
That picture.
Froggy,
Yeah, that was a body positivity campaign.
Froggy took a picture of naked Fester's flat butt while Fester was taking an outdoor shower in the pool shower at the Froggy family Reddington Beach
Compound.
compound home.
Yeah.
Right?
And so what? What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is, I don't think people freaked out over that. So people are chastising me. I'm getting excoriated. I'm getting vilified. I'm getting shredded by some people. How dare you, MJ? That was an invasion of privacy. I demand you take it down.
Well, it was.
Listen to this. Froggy took and what you did, you took a picture of Fester butt naked, the whole rear of Fester in the pool shower.
You got me on that one.
Hold on. You took that picture. We posted that, and folks, all the complainers out there, Fester then took the picture and sold it. You had actual images made, and you sold. How much money did you make from selling your autographed copies of your naked butt in Froggy's pool shower?
I don't exactly want to alert the IRS.
All right, how much?
But it might have been in the neighborhood of about $2,000 at $10 a pop. I should have charged more.
Fester sold the pictures of him naked in Froggy's pool shower for $10 a pop. Fester netted about $2,000.
See?
And you donated it to what charity?
I donated it to my Venmo account, and I've been spending it. I donated it to myself. What are you crazy?
Hey, yeah, you put yourself out there. You do whatever you want with
that's
it.
right.
All right, you know what? Let's go to phones quickly.
I should open an OnlyFans.
I'm not going to belabor this because I've got a lot of stuff we got to do. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. There are like 150 comments. It's probably even more now.
Some of them really come after you, man.
Well,
And
hold on. I'm going to be honest about something. There were a couple of ones that were so foul and disgusting, and they were just ripping me apart. I deleted a few of them.
Good.
A couple of the worst.
It's your page.
It's my page. It's my Instagram. So I'm going to be honest. Full transparency. I deleted a handful of really nasty, vulgar, ugly messages. Fester is laughing. Fester, do you have any problem with the exposure of the adult diaper that you wore yesterday to prevent the blowout?
all right, two things. One, no.
All right.
No, I don't. Two, if you knew what a tumultuous ride I had home, you would be happy that I wore it because
I just
Do we need to know that?
Just stop right
you know
there.
You know how that last mile is the longest mile?
Yeah.
I'm glad I had it.
All right, 800-990-1047. Let me grab a couple of phone calls here, and then we'll move on. But I have not had this kind of response in a long time. I mean, we have a lot of folks that respond to our content every day, but this has been crazy. Let's go to phones. 800-990-1047. On the Fester picture on my Instagram, if you haven't seen it, it's Certified MJ Radio. Fester has no problem with this. Fester sold pictures that were secretly taken of him while he was butt naked in Froggy's pool shower.
Why are you trying to pawn this off on me?
Well, because you took that picture and you sent it to me like, oh my God, you're not going to believe this picture. I got Fester and Allison and the kids were out at the beach house at Reddington and I took this picture of Fester in the pool shower out back.
I was proud.
Yeah, and then Froggy's like, oh my God, we got to talk about this. And then we posted that one and then Fester ends up selling images and makes $2,000 of his butt. All right, let's go to phones. Are you one of the individuals that chastised me? Are you one of the individuals? Or listen, even if you've seen the picture and you didn't leave a comment, would you like to comment now? Fester has no problem with this. I'm getting people that are like, that's it, final straw. I'm never listening to the MJ Morning Show again. I've got a couple of those. I'm like, what is wrong? Where are people's senses of humor? Why are people triggered by this?
I can explain it to you. It's because the person who writes something like that is possibly a very empathetic person, and they're just imagining how they would feel if a coworker snapped a photo of them with Depends On and then posted it on their IG and then asked people to go to their certified
Sometimes
page.
Things hit a little too close to home for people.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Or maybe they have a bowel issue, things like that.
There's that too,
So-
MJ. If you're a normal functioning adult, except for the fact that, it happens all the time to you, you can't control that and you have to wear something like this. You might think we're making fun of you.
Let's go to phones. 800-990-1047. Let me grab a couple of calls. Would you like to weigh in on this controversy? If you're hearing about it for the first time, or if you heard it yesterday, if you've seen the photo, if you left a comment on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio, it's still the top photo, top item. If you'd like to comment, what are your thoughts about people saying that they're never listening to the show again? Yesterday was the last straw. Or today was the last straw.
You've finally done
it. I'm not listening to you anymore. I said, I'm tired. You finally. Some people went just psycho crazy on me. All right, your thoughts. Weigh in. Let's go. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. If you would like to comment on the situation. And Fester, you were reading some of the comments last night with your wife?
It was like rapid fire succession of just dig after accusation. And the rare commenter kind of was like, hey, people, lighten up. Take a breath. Wow.
Bring up, I'll grab a call here, but bring up some of the comments so we can go over a few of those. Andy is in St. Petersburg. Andy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, I'm not really that offended by the thing. That's kind of the thing you guys do, but you weren't really making your case. I'd rather have a naked picture of my butt that goes out on the air than, or on the broadcast than a picture of me in Depends. So that's kind of my thought on it is, you're not really making a good case saying that they're equal or one's worse than the other.
Mm-hmm. Good point, sir.
I think that a secretly snapped photo of Fester naked in a pool shower and then exploited, I think that's at least on par, at least equal.
Well, like I said, I'm not offended by it. I just thought you made you tend to be your own worst enemy when you're trying to make your own case.
Oh, great.
That's a great point.
What's that thing they say about a guy who has himself for a lawyer? Has a
fool for a client.
He who represents himself
in court has a fool for a client. Yeah. Hey, Andy.
Funny.
Andy, thanks for the show of support. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Andy.
800-990-1047. Back to phones in a second. Fester, bring up, and I have a lot of stuff to do. We got to move on here, but this really apparently hit some nerves. So, Fester, read some of the comments.
Oh God.
All right, now let me tell you what I posted. I posted the picture of Fester in the Depend undergarment. And again, this is not a medical issue. He had a stomach bug, and he put the diapers on as a precaution in case he needed another layer, just in case there was a high pressure situation.
This is like triple barrier protection for what I had dealing with.
I posted the picture, and then I wrote on the caption, "What the hell is going on here with Fester?" Then later on, I did an update. And I wrote, attention snowflakes. This is a joke.
God.
This is a joke. Lighten up. Fester has had the run since last week and put on the diaper for emergency blowout protection, enabling his return to work. So that's what would you like to share some of the responses? But a lot of people thought it was hysterical. A lot of people like, oh, man, LMAO, this is funny. Smiling faces or the tears coming out of the smiley face.
Leave the guy alone. If it happened to you, MJ, you'd be crying about it.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Leave the guy alone. He's been through enough. If this ever happened to you, you would not be making fun of it. MJ, you are mean-spirited.
No, I'm not.
This is too mean-spirited to be funny.
Not.
Do better.
You should.
All right, then look.
Hitting below the belt, MJ, not nice.
You're not reading the good ones.
Okay.
You're skipping
There's
over
so many,
the bad
so
ones.
many of them. I haven't edited them. I'm just picking them. Well, you see one, you read it.
This backfired on you, bro.
Here's all the smiley faces with the tears that they're crying, laughing.
No, I'm not reading the ones that think we're being funny about it. I'm only reading the angry ones. Right.
Here. Dragon wrote a bunch of snowflakes in here.
Okay, don't read the ones that are supporting you. I'm trying to paint the picture of the anger that we drummed up yesterday, which was not what we wanted to do.
The ones that are ripping me apart. Anyway, the image is up at MJ on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio. Certified MJ Radio on Instagram. You can see the image. All right, go back to the phone screener.
Sure.
And I'll grab one more before we move on. Robert is in Trinity. Robert, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning. Love your show.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm not offended by either picture, but I think some people might be because the one of him in the showers is just kind of fun. Some people might be thinking the other one is making fun of somebody who maybe has a medical issue.
It's not he just had a stomach bug, and he put the diaper on just to be able to come back to work and have a barrier of protection. That was it.
So
yeah, but I understand what you're saying, Robert.
You make a good point, Robert.
Yeah. Okay.
But
well,
Robert thinks it's funny.
Show. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Robert. Have a good
point.
day.
Robert, send me your address and I'll mail you a free naked picture of me. I have like 20 left.
You have 20 left.
That's the only free one, by the way, people. I'm not going to mail one to anybody else but Robert.
Can we sell you in the Depend undergarment?
If somebody would pay for it, you bet.
Yeah. You want to sell those for $10 a pop?
Yeah,
those aren't worth $10.
Yeah, I was about to say. Good luck. A couple things. One, everybody just lighten up. At the end of the day,
listen. Fester is telling everyone. Fester, the subject of this, is telling everyone just lighten up.
Much like my runs after 5 days of torture, lighten up.
Let's not forget MJ kissed your butt 20 years ago.
Remember
There's a picture
that?
of that.
I sold those pictures too.
I still have mine.
So, second, I love the fact, whether you love us or hate us, that we have such passionate listeners who gave us their reaction. I loved seeing the correspondence and engaging with not with you personally because I don't know or like most of you, but I am grateful that you had a reaction towards something we did and responded to us. That's great.
We can sure as hell elicit a reaction. That's something we've done for decades here on the MJ Morning Show.
And the last point.
Yes.
At the end of the day, people, we're a comedy show and we're here to make laughs, okay?
I mean, come on.
I thought it was very real of you to do that, to wear that, and to, like guess what? Everybody goes to the bathroom. That's something we all have in common.
Most people don't do it in their pants in the middle of the middle of Morons in the news.
But you know what? I would almost take it a step further and say everybody has probably had some gastrointestinal issue at some point or another.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Roxanne.
It happens.
Roxanne, when was your last bout?
All right, stop.
I'm trying to catch it from you.
Stop.
I'm trying really hard to catch it from you so I can have a day off.
7:52 at the MJ Morning Show. Just, you never know what's going to resonate.
Or set people off.
Or detonate. You never know.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't detonate yesterday. But if I did, and if I would have, I was protected. Take a joke.
You think of little infants and babies with like diaper blowouts.
Yeah, but, I'm just past that phase, but it's not that long ago. Yeah.
You just think of Fester with a diaper blowout.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, 7:52 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. I would like to talk about stuff that you really don't want to hear your daughter say.
Oh no, I'm going to leave you alone on this one.
This kind of comports with a story that I had yesterday. I didn't get around to this, and it's just kind of interesting. Taco Bell has been forced to go drive-through only and close all dine-in services at some Taco Bell stores around the country because of crime, unsavory, rowdy, dangerous customers.
We've seen videos of like just in-person patrons just flipping out in the lobby of these stores.
Let me share, for instance, and then I want to mention what Chloe said. 4 of 5 Oakland, California Taco Bell locations have closed down indoor dining. They've gone cashless. You have to use the drive-thru. You can't go in. You can't use cash because of bad behavior, robberies, crime. And it's not just Oakland. There are some locations, and I'm sure it's not just Taco Bell. There are other fast food restaurants or establishments that have gone drive-thru only. They're closing down the dining rooms.
CVS's have pulled entire stores out of communities.
Oh, they have.
Because of the theft.
The theft, the crime, the shoplifting, absolutely. Walgreens has done it. CVS has done it. You know, some supermarkets have closed down. Other retail organizations have shut their doors. You know, the fact is, well, listen, the trend for fast food restaurants, the trend is, and if you look at the QSR stuff, if you look at what's going on, a lot of the models for fast food restaurants include in future build-outs much smaller dining areas, and some places are going no indoor dining, that it's all drive-through because the percentage of drive-through sales are going up and up and up and up, like month after month, year after year. So you're going to start seeing some fast food brands that build drive-throughs only with absolutely no ability to go inside and eat. And that's happening right now with some big brands. So heads up on that. Now, Taco Bell closing dining rooms down. These are stores that have ample dining room space, but because of robbery and bad acting customers, that they're going drive-through only. All right, so I saw that item, and I just want to segue into stuff you really don't want to hear your daughter say. So Michelle was in the car, I was in the car, I was driving, and then Chloe was in the back seat, and we were coming back from somewhere, and we had to pick something up at Walgreens on the corner of Kennedy and West Shore. And right next to that Walgreens is a Taco Bell.
That's right, yeah.
And, Chloe, I don't know if Chloe's ever had Taco Bell, but I made the comment, and it was late. It was just before the pharmacy was closing at Walgreens. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you just say your daughter, who's 22 years old, has never had Taco Bell?
Yeah, I don't think hang on a minute.
You never brought home tacos or just had one in passing?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of something you do when you're drunk and you're...
if she went to college...
Yeah, you go to Taco Bell.
Other teenagers, is there no Taco Bells in New Hampshire? There's none in the city?
I don't think there were no Taco Bells in Durham, New Hampshire. There are I don't think there are any fast food restaurants, believe it or not, near the campus. Hey, Chloe?
Yes.
What time were you set to get up?
4 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. So
you're welcome. We woke you up a little early. Good.
So I thought you were set to get up at 8 o'clock. It's 7:57. All right. So 3 minutes away. All right. You know what sucks though? Sometimes the last 3 minutes are like the equivalent of 3 hours.
The best time.
All right. So listen, I apologize. Hey, Chloe, have you ever had Taco Bell in your life?
No.
Yeah, see, this is unbelievable. Chloe is 22 years old, has never had Taco Bell. Now, what came up is we went to Walgreens, and the Taco Bell is right next door, and I like Taco Bell. I like, when you want like a 6-pack of the original crunchy taco, man, that hits the spot. I'm a fan. When I have a craving for Taco Bell, it's almost always the original crunchy taco, and I'll get like 6 of them. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a couple of months since I've done that. So this is last week, and we're pulling into the Walgreens, and it's a little before 9 o'clock, and I'm like, oh man, you know what would hit the spot right about now? 6-pack of crunchy tacos. And ultimately, I didn't do it. Michelle talked me out of, do you really want to eat 6 tacos this late? Come on. You're going to bed soon. And so she talked me out of it. And then Chloe pipes up and says, I've always heard that Taco Bell is great drunk food. Right?
Yeah.
I always heard it's great drunk food. And then Chloe, look, we're getting a thumbs up from Andrew in the producer's booth. And then Andrew says, or Chloe says rather, Chloe then says, yeah, and when I'm drunk, I can eat cardboard.
Wow.
All right. Stuff you just don't want to hear your daughter say. My former little Girl Scout, Chloe.
Daughter say the darndest thing.
Chloe, would you like to say anything for yourself?
No. I mean, I don't know. I just, when I'm drunk, I'll eat anything.
But I don't want to hear. Your daddy was never drunk in college. I never got drunk in college.
Yeah, she
That
broke.
explains a lot.
Right?
Hey, Chloe, you take after your mother on this one.
Yeah.
So, Chloe, are you? Am I the only one that's amazed that she's never been to Taco Bell?
That was another part of the story.
Yeah, but
that Michelle and I were both surprised that Chloe had never been to Taco Bell.
Have you still never been to Taco Bell? I mean, you didn't go yesterday or the day before?
No. So you know what? I'm going to have to do a father-daughter. Would you like to join us, Fester?
MJ, listen, let's go.
You can wear your adult diaper.
Hey, you might need it.
You know what? That would be the smartest thing any of us could do. That should be mandatory attire at the talk. Listen, Chloe, we need to go to Taco Bell and just have you eat everything. Just like go down the whole menu. That'd be awesome. MJ, you want 20,000 hits on your Instagram page. Put a pretty girl eating food.
You know what, Chloe? We're going to have to do a trip this week. I'm going to take you to Taco Bell so Chloe can have her first Taco Bell experience ever at the age of 22 and a half. Oh, you know what, Chloe? When was your half birthday that you were making? Chloe was all upset that we didn't want to make a big deal out of her half birthday. Like all day long, she's like, guys, today's my half birthday. What was it, like February 20th?
Yeah.
Who came up with the whole half birthday concept? What a load. All right, Chloe, we're going to do a little Taco Bell stop. I'm going to satisfy my urge for a 6-pack of original crunchy tacos, and then I'm going to get you do they still do like the chalupas?
Let her go down the menu.
All right.
Nacho Bel Grande.
Yeah, ask all the questions of the staff and make them describe everything in detail.
You know what? I just might order one of everything.
Yeah.
And just put it on. We'll have a buffet.
It'll be like $13.
Prices have gone up at Taco Bell. Man.
Well, listen, prices have gone up everywhere.
But it's not like a $2 lunch anymore.
Yeah. All right, Chloe. So anything you want to tell me about eating cardboard when you're drunk?
No, when you're drunk, I'll eat literally anything because, anything tastes good. I feel like, I don't know, you're just so hungry you'll eat anything.
Yeah, I just, as a dad, I just don't want to hear my daughter talk about when I'm drunk, I'll eat cardboard.
You know what? You're looking at this the wrong way.
What?
You should be grateful that your daughter even feels comfortable saying that around you. Yeah. The alternative is she doesn't share any of this kind of stuff with you, and you're in the total dark.
All right, maybe that's a good point.
Wow, what a great point.
Froggy doesn't have a daughter. You don't get it.
All right, Chloe. All right, get ready for a little road trip to Taco Bell, okay, this week.
Okay.
And we'll photograph the whole thing. It's like like a coming out party.
That'll be great.
It's Chloe's Taco Bell coming out party. All right. Bye, Chloe.
That's a great name for it.
All right.
The coming out party.
Sure. Do you really want to hear your daughter say, hey, yeah, when I'm drunk, I could eat cardboard?
You know what? At the end of the day, I could think of a lot worse things I wouldn't want to hear from my daughter.
Yeah, she's her real self around you.
Did you see the video of that maniac running the motorcycle off the road up in Sumter County?
No, but I want to see it.
So the FHP is still looking for the driver who smashed into a motorcyclist. This happened last Friday morning. The FHP said that the FHP said that a 52-year-old man from Leesburg was trying to get away from a gray or silver Honda Civic on I-75 up in Sumter County. Dash cam video showed that after both vehicles went past a truck, the Honda Civic then swerves right into the motorcyclist, ramming the motorcyclist. So the motorcyclist flips numerous times and then lands off the road in a wooded area, and the Civic, this gray or silver Honda Civic, then just takes off. But some of the Honda Civic parts fell off the car, so they were able to determine.
Officer O'Reilly was on the case.
I mean, this is unbelievable.
I know this part.
As in O'Reilly? Really?
Some of the jokes are less funny than others.
Yeah,
Wow.
You're right. Anyway, the motorcyclist had...
Sergeant Napa is on the case.
The motorcyclist had some serious injuries and was hospitalized. I think maybe still hospitalized. And the FHP is still looking for tips. Like, who the hell was driving this Honda Civic? And this road rage issue was nuts. And, you know, just north of the Tampa Bay area, Sumter County, I-75, and this was caught on dash cam. It's a silver or gray 2020 model year Honda Civic.
Froggy, have you seen this video?
No.
Come over here.
Yeah, come look at the video. It is absolutely insane. All right, bring up the audio, too.
It would be pretty jarring. You can see a motorcycle in a 2020 Honda Civic pass a commercial vehicle. Investigators say the Honda then came across lanes and slammed into the 52-year-old motorcyclist, sending him off the road. Wow. Parts of the car were found at the crash scene. The motorcyclist is in critical condition at an area hospital. If you know anything about the crash or the person responsible, make sure you call FHP.
Yeah, so plastic parts of the car came off and were scattered at the scene. And in fact, some of the parts on the underside even had like Honda parts labels, little stickers, so they know it's a Honda Civic. Who's this maniac? They didn't get a license plate number, so we don't know if it's a Florida plate or if it's an out-of-state plate. But, man, the insanity that's going on our roads right now is just crazy. I mean, who in a car, somebody would ram a motorcycle with no protection. I mean, that's attempted murder.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
That is the car driver was trying to kill the motorcyclist. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. Hey, speaking of motorcycles, a couple of things. And I subscribe to the whole look twice. You've seen the stickers. There's been a big campaign for years that, you know, save a life, look twice. You know, a lot of people, you don't see the thinner profile of a motorcycle, and people will change lanes or
come up really fast on you.
Right,
it's a single light.
Or you know, cars that are pulling out of a side street or out of a parking lot. You know, just look and just be sure. Just be careful as far as seeing whether the coast is clear. You know, you might be looking for a car or a truck, and you might not see the motorcycle. That's why I do fully agree with the whole look twice campaign. Absolutely. However, I also have to point out that while most motorcyclists are safe, I also see reckless motorcyclists. I also see, and in the same breath, when I say look twice, be careful, save potentially a motorcyclist's life, I cannot not discuss the motorcyclists that I see that are, you know, operating on their own death wish, apparently. And I see it quite a bit on the Howard Franklin Bridge. I'll see it, you know, several times a month, and I'm heading, usually it's daylight hours, and I'm heading home. It's after the MJ morning show. It's a little after 10 a.m., and I've seen some horrific motorcycle riders on the Howard Franklin, for instance, that are just weaving in and out and going from lane to lane and lane splitting and, you know, not allowing any margin for error of another motorist changing lanes. So lane splitting, weaving in and out, ridiculously high speed. So I cannot only talk about, hey, look twice, keep motorcyclists safe. I've also got to call out the reckless buttwads that are driving their motorcycles recklessly. Yes, Andrew.
And they seem to get away with it because they're tough to chase after.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the police departments have a no chase policy, and the motorcyclists, they're gone. But again,
until they're on the road, until they lay their bike down.
Yeah, be safe. Please check for motorcycles. But also, I've got to call out the motorcycle drivers that are reckless maniacs that are weaving in and out, and they're going in between cars at 100 miles an hour. Little margin for any type of a mistake or error. So that has to be discussed as well in the same breath.
Over the last week, have you noticed an increase in Harley riders in this area?
I have not. Why?
Okay, because I've seen a lot of them on I-4, a lot more than I normally have, because this is Daytona Bike Week. It's just ended.
And let me point something else out. That the Harley drivers...
They aren't the ones.
They're the safe ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Harley drivers tend to be your older, more mature drivers. The Harley drivers are actually very safe and observing the speed limit, and they're driving nicely. It's the crotch. It's the crotch rockets. Yeah, it's the crotch rockets and the Hayabusas and the Yamaha.
I never had a guy who looks like he's the backup singer of ZZ Top just whiz by my car at 6 inches. That's never happened.
Yeah, I mean the Harley riders tend to be very respectful, good drivers, observing road regulations and laws. Yes, Rox.
I was just going to say, at the beginning of the year, it looks like Florida dropped or I shouldn't say dropped, but relaxed the chase policy, so troopers have more flexibility to go after people. That
is true. No, that's right. Some agencies, including, you're right, the Florida Highway Patrol, I did read a story about that the Florida Highway Patrol are now able to enter into pursuits more than they had in the past.
Be careful out there, man.
That's why I always say at the end of the show, and let's be careful out there. Hey, how's this for a concept? Airbnb banning the use of all indoor security cameras.
Has that not been a rule up until now?
Hey,
yeah.
Well, don't you want them?
Not inside the house.
You do. Outdoor,
if it's your house.
Yeah, but it's
listen,
your hotel. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Froggy, I understand what you're saying. It's your house. I have no problem with security cameras outside, but security cameras inside a home or an apartment that you're renting out as an Airbnb is creepy. Yeah. I don't want a camera. Now, keep in mind that some of these cameras were very visible, but you've also had the Airbnb hosts that have had the hidden cameras. Do you remember? You know what? Let me do the story, and then there's a case that I remember because I can't remember if we played audio or there's a really creepy story involving an Airbnb host with cameras inside. But here's the deal. It came out yesterday that Airbnb is prohibiting the use of indoor security cameras in all of its listings worldwide, and this is regardless of the location or what the intention of the camera is. So Airbnb trying to modify and simplify their regulations, their policies on security cameras and other devices. The hosts will no longer be allowed to use cameras in any area of the home effective April 30th, so the end of next month. This is a brand new update. This was put on the Airbnb website yesterday. Any violations of the revised policy will be investigated, and the listing or account holder could potentially be removed from the platform, according to Airbnb. Now, previously, an Airbnb host was able to use an indoor security camera in common areas, hallways, living rooms. I'm telling you right now that I don't want any freaking security camera in a place. If I'm renting an Airbnb, I don't care if it's the living room, the kitchen, the hallway. I don't want to be freaking spied on.
It just seems. Yeah, I mean, who needs footage of you watching TV at night or
in
a
your
movie?
underwear?
Yeah, seriously.
So if you are an Airbnb host, by now I'm sure you know the new policy, but you cannot even have security cameras that are visible in common areas come April 30th. Now, do you remember we did a story? See if you guys can. I know we talked about it on the show. See if you can help me fill in the blanks here. We had a story maybe a couple of years ago where the user, the renter of an Airbnb, told the story. I can't remember whether it was a Reddit thread discussion or whether it was a story. I thought we might have had audio. It might have been a news report. And the renter was just freaked out because the Airbnb owner of the place was like emailing them like all the things that they didn't like that they were doing inside the apartment or the house they were renting. It was like, you're not supposed to touch the thermostat. And they were watching the guests on the security cameras and then like nitpicking every single thing. I think it was like leave your shoes outside, and then was commenting on whatever they were doing.
Close the door, the air conditioning's on or something like that.
If I'm not mistaken, the story also included the fact that there were like laminated rules signs all over the place, like next to the thermostat. Don't touch the thermostat for the air conditioning. Jeez. Or, I mean, there were like, wipe your feet, leave your shoes outside. I mean, there were like these little plastic laminated instruction cards like all over the place. But that's just creepy stuff.
We've never had any inside any of our Airbnbs.
Oh, that's right.
But you have them outside.
Oh, that's right. Because you guys have, how many Airbnbs do you guys operate?
Well, it's confusing because they're Airbnbs and they're short-term rentals. So sometimes they switch back and forth.
All right, between you and your husband, Doug, how many Airbnbs and short-term rentals do you guys have?
Well,
5, 10?
No,
I mean, 2?
More than 20.
More than 20?
Not just ours, because he has a separate company with a business partner. So the majority of them are in that company.
But he has no cameras on the inside.
Just on the outside.
Yeah. On the outside.
Perimeter protection makes absolute sense, but it's so creepy. You'd think you wouldn't want this in a hotel.
Can you imagine that you're renting an Airbnb from a person and they're watching you and commenting on your behavior inside like every step of the way? I think there was, in this particular story, I think there was even a comment about them slamming the refrigerator door too hard. I mean, it was ridiculous. You know what?
The microwave. That's a pet peeve.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you shut the microwave.
Yeah. You slammed the microwave too hard. All right, let's go to phones on this. I have no idea if we're going to generate any calls on this, but I'll give it a whirl. Have you ever rented an Airbnb or a Vrbo or where something creepy has occurred regarding the fact that you were being monitored, or the Airbnb host contacted you that they were clearly watching you? Or listen, if you are an Airbnb host, do you have cameras inside any of your properties? How do you feel about Airbnb saying as of April 30th, no cameras inside the rental property? All right, or any angle that I'm not thinking of here. 800-990-1047. That's how you get in. 800-990-1047. If you have rented an Airbnb or another, like a Vrbo or whatever, if you have rented and you've had some kind of a creepy situation, or you discovered you were being monitored. Again, any story, any angle here, whether you're a renter or you are the actual owner, fire up the phones. Let's see what we can get on the phones on this one. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047 is how you get into the MJ Morning Show.
So
what are you looking for?
Well, I'm just trying to look for stories of horrific Airbnb owners, but now I think they're all like voyeurs with just like videotape files of all of their guests.
Jordan is in Riverview. Well, I'm sure you got some that have done that, but I don't think the majority do. Jordan in Riverview, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Jordan. Go ahead.
So one time we had rented out an Airbnb for a bachelor party. Well, not a bachelor party because I guess I was there, but and we lost the remote and we were looking for it in the living room, and next thing you know, we received an email telling us exactly where the remote was. Nobody had asked or anything.
Oh, man. So you're looking for the TV remote. They were watching you on surveillance, and they knew you were looking for the remote, and then they contacted you and told you where it was?
Yes. Literally 2 minutes after we were looking for it. I was like, this is so creepy. Immediately, I just went into the room, and I was just like, this is just so weird.
Okay, so that's like a voyeur, owner, guardian angel. They helped you when you needed it.
Right, but it's just creepy. So creepy. What, are they just sitting there? Do some of these owners that rent out Airbnbs, are they just sitting around? If they have an interior camera, they're just watching all day long?
Yes.
Like, I guess they just blasted on their TV in the living room all day and just watched it. 'Cause it was like 11:30 at night. We were all just drinking, having a good time, and we were looking for the remote. And next thing you know, we get a text saying, hey, the remote's so-and-so. Yeah. And I'm like,
MJ,
wait.
If you are a modern-day voyeur, if you're into that, get a real estate loan and open up a couple of Airbnbs.
No,
Stop peeking in windows like a creep.
You're not creepy if you're
different
watching.
Creepdom.
Well, guess what? After April 30th, you're not allowed. But the question is, how many are still going to have...
It's unenforceable.
But how many are going to have the cameras and hide them? So you have Airbnb...
I don't even know about...
Yeah. So that's going to happen. You're going to have some Airbnb owners that might have cameras that are visible, but with the new policy, they're gonna go underground and they're going to hide cameras. Jordan, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great one. Gloria is in Lakeland. That opens up a line, by the way. Any Airbnb stories? Listen, if you're an owner and you rent out to clients, to customers, do you have cameras inside? Are you sitting around watching your guests? What do you think about Airbnb saying, hey, no cameras after April 30th? 800-990-1047. Gloria's up next in Lakeland. Hi, Gloria.
Hi, how are you?
Doing fine.
I'm calling. This story basically just goes from bad to worse. We got a Airbnb in a kind of remote area in Puerto Rico, so it's not like you have a lot of options.
Right.
Walked in and were kind of upset that there were less beds than it was advertised, but we were going to make the best of it.
Right.
And then it looked like we saw cameras, and I'm like, wait, we have 4 women in this group, and it looks like cameras. And so we're like, there's nowhere else within 2 hours, though. I said, okay, all the girls, you guys need to, go to the bathroom to change, to do anything. And we were, very upset about that. They were in the bedrooms. They were in the living room. They were, we were really hoping they weren't in the bathroom.
Oh.
And then my husband lays down on the bed in the bedroom. We're, exhausted. And a roach falls on his head. We're like, you know what? Never mind. We'll have to drive 2 hours. We're out. There's cameras. There's roaches. There's no beds. And we were, technically homeless for 3 hours while we found another Airbnb 2 hours away.
Did you get a refund?
After about 3 or 4 hours on the phone, yeah.
That's crazy.
Hey, Gloria, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are the voices in your head?
No.
Calling Gloria, just curious. Gloria. All right. Have a great day, Gloria. Thanks for the story.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
You know, when you go to other people's houses, one place you should always assume they have cameras, and they usually do, is that they have young children. They're always going to have cameras in the playroom, the kids' rooms. So people with young children have cameras much more often. One
more call, and Jen, I don't have a song for you. Jen is in Largo. Hello, Jen.
Good morning.
You have an Airbnb story?
Yes, a few years ago we had gone to a synchronized swimming competition over on the other coast. So it was near West Palm. And there aren't a lot of places right in the area where the competition was to stay. So we stayed probably 45 minutes away in a really, really beautiful neighborhood. Must have been $1 million home with all kinds of bedrooms and bathrooms and amenities, etc. And they wouldn't give us like the location of the key until we were on top of the place.
Yeah, that same thing for us. So that's pretty common. You're supposed to call within like half an hour of arrival. We rented, when my son was graduating up in Connecticut at his boarding school last May, or was it early June? It was Michelle, me, Chloe, my parents, and then Michelle's parents, and we rented like a 5-bedroom house. We rented a home up in Connecticut. We rented Airbnb, and we got the actual entry instructions. It was like call within like 15 minutes of arrival, and then they gave you the little combination for the front door keypad.
Mm-hmm. It was like that, and we got in, and the place was very nice. It was very well stocked with everything that you would expect for dishes and silverware and all that, because we were going to be there for a couple of days, and it was a lot of us. There were probably 12 people in the house, but there was plenty of space. But the thing that shocked us was the cameras were everywhere, everywhere. And I felt like we couldn't comfortably change clothing in a bedroom because we just didn't know.
Oof.
Because right outside the bedroom door, there was like a teddy bear with a camera in it.
Hold on, wait, hold on. There was a teddy bear with a camera in it?
Yeah, I mean, you could see it. It was very, very strange.
All right, were they trying to hide it, or was it not particularly hidden?
I'm not sure.
Because when you think of a camera in a teddy bear,
that's a spy cam.
You're thinking about some kind of perv with a spy cam. Exactly.
And it was sitting like on a bookshelf in the hallway outside of a bedroom and bathroom area.
Wow.
So you might expect if people were there, they could potentially be parading around with a towel or something around them. You know what I mean? In and out of a bedroom, bathroom scenario. But we were very, very cautious when we realized, like moments after we got in the door, that there were cameras literally everywhere in that house. It was a very, very strange experience.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Jen. Andrew's still screening calls over there. Andrew, should I move on, or what do you have? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Wow.
Yeah, Andrew is...
you just never know when you get into these Airbnbs.
Yeah.
I suddenly paint all of them with the creep brush now.
The what?
The creep brush.
He says grab line 1. Steve, where are you calling from, buddy?
Hudson.
All right, Steve in Hudson, go ahead.
So one time, my lady and I rented a place in the Joshua Tree, and it was this big, huge compound, all by ourselves.
Where was this?
Joshua Tree.
Oh, in Joshua Tree, out in California.
Yep. And so we were walking around naked the entire time outside because there was a hot tub, there was a cowboy pool, the whole bit. And all of a sudden, on the last day, I realized that there was a camera facing on the outside, so they got a full show.
Yeah, but listen, I would not be surprised with outdoor cameras. Outdoor cameras are very common. Cameras inside teddy bear eyeballs, that's not very common.
No, that's absolutely super common. But, you know, I mean, I guess they got an eye full of meat. Yeah. They enjoyed the show, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Did they comp your stay? Because if they didn't enjoy the show.
All right, one last call here. Robert in Trinity. Robert, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, I'm calling for a solution. Every time you get a B&B, bring a roll of duct tape. And if you see a camera, duct tape that sucker off.
There you go. Hot tip. And, well, as of April 30th, Airbnb hosts are not allowed to have cameras inside at all. Thank you. All right.
Oh, last thing.
Yes.
Is there a way, or is there a gadget that you could have to alert you to a camera or a is it a RFDI signal or I don't know.
There are RF. You can like kind of cruise through places, and there are RF detectors that will let you know if there's any like electrical impulses or energy.
We used to have one in our office, in our show office, right, Fester?
Back when Froggy was violating our morning show office, yes, we had a secret
That's
camera.
right. Fester hit a ring camera.
3 of them in there.
Yes.
Whatever,
and
that's
I
right.
caught Froggy, him sticking his head in there at night and trashing our office like a douche.
Was it me?
Liar.
We don't spend a lot of time talking about strippers on the MJ Morning Show. Now,
we need to spend more time.
We're not a very stripper-heavy program.
Stripper-centric.
We've had, it's a good term, we've had our share of stories from time to time if there's a story involving a stripper. Are you guys aware of the new stripper law that could be enacted in Florida? It's already passed the Florida House and the Florida Senate, and now it just awaits Ron DeSantis, the governor's signature. And what are your thoughts about this? Do you know what the stripper law is? Do you know what this is? Anyone?
No, what? Now they have to carry little swipe machines for credit cards on their waist?
No. Here in Florida, the legislature has voted to raise the stripper age to 21. So no 18, 19, or 20-year-old strippers if the governor signs this into law. Now, what do you think? I mean, is this, if you're 18, you're of legal age, you're considered an adult at 18. And I know this also elicits the discussion about drinking, and here a young man can be drafted, given an M4 rifle, and thrown into war and get shot at 18, but he can't go to a bar. Of course, there's some provisions on base, for younger.
But there's age limits
soldiers.
on a lot of things.
All right, but what are your thoughts about this? Late last week, it was approved, the bill banning 18 to 20-year-olds from being strippers or working in any other capacity in an adult entertainment venue. There was a similar bill that was passed in Texas back in 2021. They're saying that the Florida bill is aimed to try to curtail human trafficking. I don't know if that's as much the case. Listen,
it might be, because
that's a problem here.
If 18 is the age limit, then the traffickers are trying to get people under that age in there. But if the bar is raised and the law is enforced at 21, then suddenly that whole demographic of, in their mid-teens where these people are being exploited, goes away.
Way to break it down.
Yeah.
Wow. Florida adults under the age of 21 will not be able to work at strip clubs, burlesque establishments, adult bookstores, or any other business that fits the description.
Where the hell's a burlesque establishment?
Of Florida's definition of adult entertainment. Currently, people can work in these establishments as soon as they turn 18. Here's what's going on. On March 5th, the Florida Senate, they voted almost unanimously to raise the minimum for adult establishment workers and strippers to 21. Only 3 senators here in Florida voted no. And then a couple of days after March 5th, that's when the House took it up. The Florida House took it up, and only a few members in the Florida House voted against it. So it has passed. It has passed both houses here in Florida, and now it goes on to Governor Ron DeSantis for signature. And if Ron DeSantis signs this, it goes into law July 1. Now, the strippers, if they're underage, if they're 18, 19, or 20, and they manage to work, if the law is actually signed into effect by DeSantis, they would not be penalized if they're caught stripping underage. However,
so if you're already doing it, you wouldn't be. Is that what you're saying?
No. If you sneak in and you, with a fake ID, let's say.
Okay.
Let's say you got an 18, 19-year-old and they have a fake ID.
Right.
They're not going to get in trouble. So if the law goes into effect July 1st, an underage stripper, they're not in trouble. The establishment is in trouble. But
for not recognizing the ID was fake.
But listen, yes. Yeah. So if a strip club, this is really an interesting complication.
I see. Okay.
If the strip club hires a dancer, a stripper, that is not legitimately 21, the stripper doesn't get in trouble. If the club is duped by a fake ID, the club can get in trouble. Second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years in prison and or a fine of up to $10,000 if the young person shows any part of their butt, female breast, pubic area, genitals with less than a fully opaque covering or shows covered male. Anyway, it goes into the whole description here. So the dancer wouldn't be in trouble, but the businesses, the management, the ownership could be in trouble. It doesn't matter if they are tricked by a fake ID.
The onus is on the strip club. But, interesting.
I mean, that
doesn't sound like it's going to hold up in court. Sounds like a little political grandstanding.
This is kind of really gnarly and kind of creepy crawly to think of. But let's say you've got a 25-year-old guy meets a girl, and let's say she's 16, 17 years old. And let's say the guy asks the young woman, hey, I just want to make sure you really, 19 like you say or whatever. Do you have an ID? If that young woman has a fake ID and the guy knowingly has checked and truly believes that that young woman is of age but turns out to be underage with a fake ID, there have been cases where the guy's been arrested even after doing due diligence, believing that the person was of age.
Well, what rock star did we just talk about who got in trouble for that? I can't think who it was now, with a 16-year-old.
Don Henley.
Don Henley, that's right. Yeah.
Don Henley didn't ask for ID, though. Oh,
you think we have any dancers, any strippers listening right now?
I think we've gone through this before, haven't they? They're usually sleeping at this point.
No. We've had a couple that have called the show taking their kids to school.
Yeah, they'd be overage.
But right now it's spring break for a lot of. I'll tell you what. Let's go to phones.
Okay.
Let's. We don't go to stripper phones often here on the MJ Morning Show. But what are your thoughts? First of all, what are your thoughts about? You're an adult when you turn 18.
Well, okay.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on a law which could be signed into effect by the governor any day now? What are your thoughts about banning 18, 19, and 20-year-olds from working in strip clubs? So if you are of that age group, or if you are a parent with kids that age, if you are a stripper, I mean, any thoughts on this? What do you think? Do you think you agree or disagree with this potential law that could be signed into effect any day that would go into effect on July 1st? No 18, 19, or 20-year-olds working in strip clubs. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. I'd love to hear from, if you are an adult dancer, of age, or maybe you are an 18, 19, or 20-year-old. Suddenly, you're out of work. If you're 18, you got to wait 3 more years.
Is there a grandfather clause?
No, it's a grandmother clause.
No, it's a granddaughter clause. All right, 800-990-1047. Let's go to phones here. See what happens. 800-990-1047. Any adult entertainers listening, even if you're just, you don't go to, what do you think about it? If you're of age and you're considered an adult at 18, should you be able to get a job as a stripper in a club? Or are there any angles that I'm not thinking of here? That's why we go to phones. 800-990-1047. All right, look, former dancer. Cassandra is calling in from Clearwater.
Is that her real name or her working name?
We'll find out. Hey, Cassandra, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Cassandra, Fester wants to know, is that your real name or is that your stage?
My real name.
Okay, yeah. What was one of your stage names?
My bar name was Ryan.
Ryan. Ryan, how many years did you perform? Did you dance?
I danced, bartended, waitress for about 12 years.
Gotcha. And how long you been out of the biz?
About 12 years, almost.
Gotcha. All right, so Cassandra, what are your thoughts? Were you aware of this?
No, I wasn't, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, I've seen a lot of girls that come into the clubs, 18, 19, some of them even 17, and, they fall down the hole of the alcohol and the drugs that are in the clubs, and, I've seen girls go way downhill from that, and I just don't think that a lot of them are mature enough to be in an adult club.
So you are in support of banning 18, 19, and 20-year-olds and having to be 21 to work as a dancer or stripper?
I absolutely am for it.
Well, and look at this. This is a former dancer. Now, if you don't mind me asking, Cassandra, post your dancing and bartending days, what did you do for a living, or what do you do now?
So right now I work for a company where we help, if you're a business owner and you want to do grants and contracts with the federal government, I facilitate that.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Cassandra, thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate it.
Of course. Love you guys. Have a good day.
Love you too. All right. Day is calling in from Trinity. Look at the phones. Phones just blew up on this. I wasn't sure whether we were going to get calls. Day in Trinity, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, good morning. I'm just wondering, because I know years ago it was difficult or easy, I should say, to get a fake ID. But today, anybody that gets an ID, you're basically bringing so much evidence of who you are. And there's machines that actually can check your ID whether or not it's real. Let
me tell you right now that these kids these days, listen, I don't want to incriminate anybody in my family, but it is extra. Listen, Julian is, how old's Julian? Julian is what? Julian will be, holy crap, Julian's 19. Julian's going to be 20 in July. Holy crap. I know for a fact that these kids can get fake IDs. Chloe's now 22. She doesn't need a fake ID. But these kids, there are hookups, whether it's high school, whether it's college. They all have hookups to get fake IDs. You can even pick your state, your name, the address you want. These fake IDs, Day, are rampant.
I imagine, but if I was a business owner, which I actually am, but not in that industry, I'm going to get a machine that swipes to make sure, because it's evident. They're going to try to go in there. It is what it is, but we have to cut down on this human trafficking at some point. And if this is helping, I'm all for it.
Dave, thanks for the call. Laura in Tampa, former dancer. Look at this. Laura, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
We are well. So Laura's your real name, right?
That is correct.
What was your dancer name?
Rachel.
Rachel. Did you use Rachel the whole time, or did you have various names?
I started with my real name, and it got too emotionally hard, so I'm like, I can't do this. I have to separate the two.
Gotcha. All right, so Laura, what are your thoughts about no 18, 19, 20-year-old dancers?
I agree. It should be 21 at least.
Gotcha. And how long have you been out of the dancing business?
I ended in 2008.
All right, and did you dance locally?
Yes.
Any of the big famous name clubs?
No, it was a little dive.
Gotcha. All right, Laura, and what do you do now?
I am what they call an associate at Wawa.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you, Laura.
Not a problem.
I always fall for the impulse pretzel buys at the front counter at Wawa.
Those are good. Those Philadelphia pretzels are really good.
See, another Rube move, man.
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for the soft. I'm a sucker for the soft pretzels at Wawa, right at the front counter, man.
Philadelphia
Wawa
pretzels,
rules.
good.
Yeah, I'm a no salt guy though.
Yeah. You should try the chicken salad bacon sandwich there. So good.
Let me grab one more call, then we move on. Lori is in Clearwater. Lori, you're on the M. Oh, we had hey, what happened to Bill the DJ? Bill hung up. We had
I just wanted to hear his DJ strip club voice.
Well, we had Bill.
Yeah.
Bill, come on, dude, call back. Bill was on hold. I was about to grab him. Bill claimed he's a DJ at a strip club.
Coming to the show now is Bill.
I wanted him to give me a big Roxanne Wilder to the stage.
Yeah.
Really?
Roxanne, you're up next. So.
Coming up next to the stage, give it a buzz for Roxanne.
And
Roxanne.
you think about it, and that's not a radio name. I mean, Roxanne Wilder. You have a new married name, but Roxanne and Wilder, that's your real name.
Right.
Well, Wilder was your first husband's
coming to the stage
name.
now, the woman with the best stripper name ever, Roxanne Wilder. Everybody buzz, give it up for Wilder.
But that's true because Roxanne is kind of a sexy name, and then Wild.
Yeah.
Roxanne Wild.
My name is
Wilder.
Wilder.
You're not just wild. You're wilder. In fact, why aren't you working with Orlando down the hall?
There's a couple reasons.
And Roxanne Wilder. Yes, it's my real name. My name is real, unlike my boobs.
Coming to the stage, fake boobs. Fake boobs, real name, boys.
Lori is in Clearwater.
Get off your wallets for Roxanne Wilder.
Lori, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Lori.
Hello. I'm a super long time listener. I love you guys so much. Been listening since like the 90s. I agree with the law, and the only way the clubs are not going to get tricked and duped and held liable is if they do actual background checks. They have to do a background check, which is going to cost them money. But city, county, local, background checks with the police department or whatever. But that's the only way they're going to protect themselves and realize it's a fake ID.
Well, that's going to be coming then, because if this gets signed into law, again, Florida House, Florida Senate, they've passed this bill. It just sits on DeSantis's desk now to be signed. No strippers and even workers in certain adult establishments, if you're 18, 19, or 20, you have to be 21 if this gets signed into law, and it would go into effect on July 1 if it happens. Lori, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
And thanks for your longtime patronage. We appreciate it. All right, now, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, all the women in support, and even former dancers. 2 former dancers in support of older requirements. Interesting. Hey, we have a death to report.
Who died?
And, a lot of people might not know the name, but you certainly know one of the members of the Raspberries. And the Raspberries were back in late 60s, early 70s. I've told this story. My dad had a Raspberries album, and it had a Raspberry scratch and sniff sticker. And I thought that was the coolest freaking thing in the world. I was 5, 6 years old. I'd go to Dad's record collection, just pull out the Raspberries album and just scratch the sticker and sniff it. And it smelled like raspberries. It was a scratch and sniff sticker. So Eric Carmen, after the Raspberries, went on to a solo career. That was a massive hit, Hungry Eyes, from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Also, you probably know this song, 87.
I think if you kick off after 70, you can't say he died young, but he's dead. Okay, so am I the only one that noticed that all of his crap kind of sounds the same?
I was just going to say that.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds the same.
I mean, it's clear. You can understand the lyrics. But the music's not overpowering.
Andrew just said something. Andrew, bring that song up and give me a thumbs up when you have it. They don't all sound the same. There's another song.
Is this yacht rock? Is that what this is?
Yes, it is.
I don't know what.
You're listening to Yacht Rock.
It's good stuff, right?
Well, Eric Carmen, dead at the age of 74. That's young. These days, 74 is young. Apparently, he died in his sleep.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, the notice was posted yesterday. He died over the weekend. And can you imagine? His wife posted the message on his website, and I would imagine, was the wife in bed, and in the morning you try to wake up your husband and he's expired in the middle of the night? I mean, listen, if you're going to go, if you can go kind of painlessly while you're sleeping in the middle of the night, I guess it's much better than other alternatives. But the news of Eric Carmen's passing was posted on the singer's own website. The message was posted by his wife, Amy, and it read, "It is with tremendous sadness that we share the heartbreaking news of the passing of Eric Carmen. Our sweet, loving, and talented Eric passed away in his sleep over the weekend. It brought him great joy to know that for decades his music touched so many and will be his lasting like Make Me Lose Control." That was a big Q105 song back in the late 80s, right?
Q105. 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 Q105.
All right, so you want to know what doesn't sound the same. And Andrew, this was his biggest hit ever, actually?
Yes.
Was it the All By Myself one?
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Q105.
Oh, there you go.
Did you ever hear about the time that Eric Carmen kicked Cleveland Wheeler in the nuts? That's not true. I don't know.
What?
I'm sure he came through. I'm sure he came by, right? I'm sure back then. That's when these musicians made radio tours.
Yeah, Scott Shannon, who worked here on Q105 and actually created the Morning Zoo, the Q Morning Zoo. Scott Shannon, his picture has darts being thrown at it in the video for Make Me Lose Control.
Really?
Yeah. If you look up Make Me Lose Control, in the video, there's a picture of Scott Shannon, and there's a radio DJ throwing darts at Scott Shannon's picture in the video. I have no idea why.
Maybe he did kick Cleveland Wheeler in the nuts.
Oh, man. Anyway, R.I.P. Eric Carmen, 74. That's young these days. 8:52 at the MJ Morning Show. That wraps up over an hour and 20 minutes of non-stop MJ Morning Show. We've got almost an hour to go. We also have concert tickets. We've got a 4-pack of Busch Gardens tickets that'll enable you to experience the Busch Gardens Food and Wine Festival running through May 19th. So next hour, we'll give you a chance to win the 4-pack of Busch Gardens tickets, not to mention all of the high-quality MJ Morning Show entertainment, all next on the MJ. Don't move. Back in moments, MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Hey,
'cause I want it that way.
So this is a new conspiracy, Froggy? Is that what's going on here?
New? I said it yesterday. I said it first. It's the first thing I thought of when I saw it.
MJ Morning Show on Q105.
It's one of the most obvious cases I've ever seen.
What exactly did you say on the show yesterday? And don't try to revise it and be a revisionist.
Then I won't say it. Fester, what did I say about John Cena?
We'll pull the audio. We'll pull the tape from yesterday.
I said it was obviously an embarrassment ritual by the Illuminati. I mean, obviously. That they do to these Hollywood guys.
All right. So
he did say that.
On yesterday's program, we recapped some of the stuff from the Oscars, the Academy Awards on Sunday night. And in one of the funnier moments, did you just belch?
It was an inside the mouth burp.
Oh,
Gosh,
dude,
Fester,
we all heard it.
Did you really?
Come on,
it was
right in
very
the
belchy.
microphone.
Very belchy.
It was inside. I didn't open my mouth. It was like
In fact, you know what? You're going to give Charlie Belcher a run for his money.
I wish.
Charlie Belcher live.
I mean, if I were that guy, I'd be like, Charlie, reporting live from the scene.
What if his name was Charlie Farter? All right.
Oh, they got to hire a Charlie Farter.
I love Charlie.
You know what? Channel 10 can get in the game by hiring Charlie Farter to do morning shtick.
Hell yeah.
That's a Charlie Farter.
I'll be Charlie Farter.
We got Frank Farter live at the Strawberry Festival.
Charlie Farter, only on Tampa Bay's 10. All right, so where were we?
John Cena's a humiliation ritual.
So one of the more funnier, memorable moments was for costume design, the little shtick and bit that they did during the Oscars where John Cena was naked. And, you know, there were some photos that emerged. And I said that he obviously had some covering on. And there were some photos that emerged from backstage where he had this skin-colored, just a covering on the rear, you know, covering up his cheeks and then the front. So he did have skin just in case there was a malfunction. And, of course, he came out naked. The dude is in impeccable physical condition. A Tampa Bay area resident, lives up in Land O'Lakes, and he had an oversized envelope, you know, an awards envelope, and he's holding it over his crotch. It was very funny. So we talked about this, and then what did you claim to have said on the show yesterday, Froggy?
I didn't claim. I said that's a famous thing that's done to Hollywood actors. They want to go to the next level, and then the elite, they call themselves the Illuminati. There are things called humiliation rituals.
Anything to do with the Skull and Bone Society?
I can give you more details. I got all the facts because all the stories are coming out now.
What are you reading? Froggy rolls in the room during the Backstreet Boys song after the commercial break. He's like, man, take a look at this. I was right. I said it first. And Froggy's like shoving his cell phone in my face. What impeccable, unimpeachable source are you going to show me?
So it says here, this is from the conspiracy theorist Instagram page.
Hold on, what is this from?
Say it again.
It's from some sort of conspiracy Instagram page called VT. I don't know, but it popped up on my feed.
Okay, yeah, I put a lot of stock in conspiracy pages on Instagram. Go ahead.
They pointed out.
Some believe that this was all a part of an Illuminati humiliation ritual. And many take to social media to say exactly this. All right. But I know what you're asking, right? What is a humiliation ritual? That's a good question. According to conspiracy theorists.
Dude, are you first day with the microphone today?
Celebrities will take part in rituals that humiliate them in private settings, or in this case, in public, which is a sacrifice to the higher being that grants them the fame they so desperately desire.
Well, that's what Fester was doing yesterday in the Depends.
Fester's done that numerous times. The only thing is there's no fame after it.
Yeah, the Illuminati and I are real close.
My
really
God,
close.
I still have complaints coming in on the Fester Depend picture, even after we spent 15 minutes earlier today around 7:30, and Fester's like laughing at it. It's funny. Fester sold pictures of him nude that Froggy took of him in the pool shower. Fester made $2,000 selling autographed nude photos.
That doesn't justify your actions, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And some people are still ripping me a new one. Hang on, where's this one? Hang on, I saw one that was pretty. MJ, you think it's funny what if you or no, your kids or Michelle had a stomach issue? Yeah. Are you going to post their issues as well? No, you're not. You are so rude and inconsiderate. This is awful to post, and I would never work for someone that treats me this way and shows what he is doing to you. Fester, you need to do something about this.
That's a good point.
Harumph.
So you took a picture of Michelle with her little mask on. People are pissed off about that, too.
Listen, one eye shell. Oh, my God. Does she have one eye?
See, something triggers everybody.
Her screen name is ONE I, then Shell, SCHELE.
I think she has one eye in her name, Michelle. I don't know. Maybe she has one
eye.
eye.
Maybe it just has one eyeball. I don't know. But she's all ticked off after Fester is laughing about it. Fester's fine with the picture of him in the Depend undergarment yesterday as a shield and a berry. Fester came back to work yesterday, but he would have been out unless he came up with the solution to wear the Depend undergarment in case of a blowout because of his suspected norovirus.
Blowout's a little extreme, but I've been having some, loose toots, if you know what I mean.
All right. So Fester, his solution was go to Walmart and buy some Depend undergarments.
So that's
and then people are angry that I took a picture of Fester's Depend hiked up and his shirt was up, and I'm like, what is he wearing?
I accidentally tucked my shirt in. Listen, that's the new. It seems like this is the new gotcha. Is if this happened to your family, I think we joked about somebody getting hit by a train, like a child predator or something. Hit by a train.
Yeah. Dude, we talked about this yesterday. Yes. People were angry. I got an angry email last week. We were talking about a child molester, sex offender, fleeing police in Eugene, Oregon, got hit by an Amtrak train, and I got an email, MJ, how dare you laugh about this situation? It's like, my God, people are turning into the worst snowflakes. It's insane. Fester is laughing about the picture I took and posted on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio. Fester has no problem with it. Fester might even sell autographed pictures of the image.
I mean, it'd be a discounted price. I mean, they're really not that valuable.
And still people are phoning in and they're like, messaging on Instagram or emailing me.
We're so butthurt about these people. Who cares what they think?
All right,
you do what you want.
Yeah, you don't want everyone to like you.
Yeah, you're a bad person, and that's it.
Yeah,
I am not a bad person.
I mean, I wish we
take that back.
I take it back.
I wish we would embrace our evilness just a little more, but we're not.
I want to be like super evil, like Dr. Evil.
Do you want a soccer training device that we have in our garage, Froggy?
Absolutely. That's all we do is train soccer in my hood.
Yeah, we have one of those bounce back nets where we have a really nice one.
Ooh, yes.
I don't think Chloe needs anymore since she's kind of, you know what? Chloe might go back and play soccer.
Well, I'm sure she misses
it. But here's the deal. Because of COVID, Chloe still has NCAA eligibility. I think.
2 years eligibility?
I think hold on a minute.
She should try out for a team.
Well, here's the deal. Chloe is studying for the LSAT. Oh, she's so excited. She got a pretty good score.
On a practice one?
Yeah, she got like a 1. I don't know if she wants me to.
A 1 isn't that good.
No, the other score is a 0. It's either a 1 or a 0.
Hello.
Hey, Chloe.
Wake up.
Yes.
Are you awake? Are you out of bed yet?
Yes.
No, you're not. Where are you? You're supposed to be out of bed at 8 o'clock.
Okay, what?
You have to pray. Chloe, hold on. Are you still in bed?
Yes.
You were supposed to be out of bed. You have LSAT prep to do.
I know I'm going.
Oh, my God. So,
Chloe, I need you to take this a little more seriously.
Well, listen, I got to give her credit. Chloe, was that your best LSAT practice?
Yes. Yes.
Why are you getting all terse with me?
Because I don't like talking about it.
Why not? I'm proud that you got to tell everyone the score that you got.
No.
She's going to jinx it. She's going to do worse next time.
Why not? Why can't we tell the score?
I don't like talking about it.
Can I say it?
No.
Why the hell did that thing echo back? That was weird. I can't say that you got a good score. I can't say it.
No.
Golly.
Why are we calling her in the first place?
I'm calling her because when she goes to law school, if she goes to law school, which that's the plan. But Chloe, how many years of NCAA eligibility do you still have?
I think I have like 2 or 3.
Yeah. So she could technically go to a law school that's, at a university that has, an NCAA D1, D2, D3 soccer team. And Chloe still has eligibility because she played D1 up at UNH. And she still has a couple of years at least of eligibility. So if you go to law school, would you consider potentially, if you go to a school that has a soccer, what?
No.
You're done?
I mean, I'd love to still play, but I've talked to so many people about it, and they said you're not going to want to be in law school and be on the soccer team.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, can I give Froggy the soccer equipment that's in the garage?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Do you want that anymore or no?
No. Give it to Max and Luke.
What's that thing called anyway? What was like a bouncer? What is that thing?
I don't know, but they'll like it.
Yeah, it's the thing that you kick the ball and it springs back at you. I'm sure there's a name for it. I don't know what the hell it's called, but it's taking up space in my garage. Froggy, can you follow me home and grab it today? Or else I'm throwing it in the trash.
How big is it?
It'll fit in the back of your pickup truck. It's not. It's easy.
Maybe not today, but
no. I need you to pick it up today.
Well, you know what? I have plans.
You don't have plans. You do nothing.
I got to read about this John Cena. What? I do nothing.
All right, Chloe, we'll talk to you in a bit, all right?
Bye.
All right,
what a jerk.
I was just calling. You know what? I'm not giving you the net. You just called me a jerk. I'm not giving you the net.
You just lost the net.
You just lost the net.
I have it anyway.
I'll take the net, and I'll set it on fire in front of Froggy's house.
$249 value.
Yeah, right.
This thing's nice.
I'll come get it.
It's in pristine, perfect condition.
Where'd you buy it? Do you have the receipt? I'll return it.
Nah, Michelle ordered it.
Chill out, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it.
I'll bring it back to Dick's.
I love Dick's.
All right, now, here's a question. Are you being manipulated at restaurants to leave a greater tip? There is research that shows that a couple of simple actions on the part of the server could actually elicit a larger tip. Do you know what some of these items are?
How is this even possible? I don't get it.
It's little psychological tricks, right?
Yeah. So new research shows that putting a smiley face on the actual, and we've all seen this, where you go to a restaurant and the server puts the little, thank you and a little smiley face.
And I feel like usually the eyes are like this. Look, MJ, aren't they always like long lines? They're never dots, right?
A lot of times you're right, Roxanne.
Right? The two lines?
Line, smiley face.
Like an eye, or a one, like a 1-1.
Hooters waitresses will give you a heart with a little lips drawn on it, all kinds of stuff.
Well, there's research that shows that if a server puts a smiley face emoji on the bill, that it can boost the server's tip by an average of 11%, according to brand new research, which was published last month in the International Journal of Hospitality Management.
How gullible are these guys?
You know what? They need a whole course on this at the Cornell School of Hotel Management.
So MJ, I mean,
yes.
If a waitress comes back, she can't pull this off if you're with like your wife or your girlfriend. But if you're having lunch with the guys,
dude, what do you mean?
Listen, hold on.
Putting a smiley face?
No, listen. If she kisses if you get a lip print on your receipt, you're gonna
hold on. I've never had a waitress kiss my receipt with lipstick.
I'm thinking next level stuff here. We go to the Kerr's Wing House.
What a butt print.
I love it. Butt print. Not at Kerr's, but still. MJ, if they gave you something like that, of course you'd tip them 30%. You wouldn't even think about it.
30%?
50%.
All right, listen, the bottom line is research shows that the server doing a little smile. What about guys? Do male servers ever put little smiley faces, or is it only women servers that do smiley faces?
You want to know something? My barometer for tipping on guys is so much harder than it is for female servers.
Really?
Yeah.
There's something else that I've seen. I can't remember where I saw this, and this is kind of funny because this precedes the smiley face item, which we just did. But in the last couple of months, and I'm trying to rack my brain on where I saw this, that there's another thing that a server can do to increase a tip, and that is putting a couple of little candies.
Oh, yeah.
On the yeah, have you ever seen
your kids happy about that?
Yeah, little and again, I don't know if they're always restaurant sanctioned, but I saw. I'm trying to remember, where did I see this, and I don't think it's always been the restaurant supplying the little candies or the mints. I think there are cases where, in some cases, the server has their own little stash of little mints or candies that they bring with the bill. And I want to say that I saw something months ago that also has an effect in increasing the potential tip that the server gets.
So when you went to Olive Garden for Valentine's Day, did they bring you a bill with like some Andy's candy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we went to Olive Garden, I had the gift card to burn. I had a $25 gift card that my mother-in-law gave me to Olive Garden, and Michelle and I went to Olive Garden on West Shore right near the mall on Valentine's Day. And yeah, at the end with the bill came a couple of those little Andy's, chocolate mint rectangular thingies. Absolutely.
But all that's designed to make you a little happier when you're writing that tip.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, 9:20, MJ Morning Show. Final segment, MJ Morning Show next, including your chance to call in, win a 4-pack of Busch Gardens tickets. And you'll be able to experience the fun at Busch Gardens, including the Busch Gardens Food and Wine Festival, which runs through May 19th. So a 4-pack, that's a nice prize there. 4-pack of tickets to Busch Gardens, and we'll give those away next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Stand by. If you are... All by myself. 928 MJ Morning Show. Final segment. We'll give away the Busch Gardens tickets here in a few minutes. 4-pack Busch Gardens. All you got to do is listen. I'll tell you exactly what number caller. These are good. Where do you snake these?
So we have a new sales assistant.
I saved one bite to crunch on the air. Hold on. These are crisp and refreshing.
I know.
What are those?
We have a new sales assistant who keeps a very well-stocked candy bowl. And I think I've seen everything when it comes to candy.
This is good.
And she had something I've never seen before.
This is refreshing.
Can I have one of those?
I only took two.
Yeah.
Because I was stealing other things for Roxanne.
I know. I asked Fester to steal candy for me. My kids have this weird thing where they believe in so much stuff, and they believe in fairies, and so they built
fairies are real, actually.
Yeah, I think they are.
Your kids believe in fairies?
There's a couple of videos out there that can't be explained about fairies.
I think they're real as well, and so they built a fairy garden in our front yard, and then all they did last night before they went, oh gosh, I hope the fairy brings us candy. You know, fairies bring candy, so.
So now,
here's the candy. I don't think we ever said what it was.
While I was stealing candy for Roxanne, I looked and I saw that
Can you talk on the microphone?
While I was stealing the candy for Roxanne, I looked and I saw something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the what?
It's a new variety of Kit Kat.
Yeah. And I like Kit Kat.
It is a lemon crisp Kit Kat, and it's good.
Thanks for getting me one, bud.
Yeah, I want one.
You guys got to steal your own. I was already stealing a handful of candy for Roxanne. Then I see this last flavor. I can't take them all, which I have no problem doing.
I think we were in Japan, and there was a Kit Kat store that had like 100 different flavors of Kit Kat.
Yeah, overseas Kit Kats are just crazy.
They have cat flavored Kit Kat.
Yeah,
overseas Kit Kat is insane. I think we were in Japan.
I had no idea about that.
I mean, just all kinds of flavors that you've never seen. I'm trying to remember where that was, whether it was in Tokyo or Osaka, wherever the heck it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Japan. But this is good. I endorse this.
I don't know if it's like a limited time flavor for Easter or something, or a springtime
lemon
flavor.
crisp Kit Kat, very snappy, and it's It's refreshing.
Is it like a Girl Scout cookie, like the lemony Girl Scout cookies? That's
what
I'm picturing.
Similar flavor profile on that. And those are good. The new Girl Scout lemon cookies.
Yes.
The only problem is for $6 you get 12 cookies in the box. It's like, what the,
Yeah, I'll throw those things back in your face, kid.
Stop it, Froggy.
Hey, MJ, you got mad at me a few minutes ago, and I'm sorry. I had to walk out of the room to take a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I just went from like a 1 out of 10 mood to like a 10 out of 10 mood because I had to have blood work done, so I couldn't have any coffee or food, and I have just been seething all morning.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm able to eat and drink coffee, and I'm just like a new person.
Why was your thing canceled?
What?
It was canceled.
Why was it canceled?
Because the fax machine is broken from my doctor's office to the...
So the first thing you did was chug a coffee? Oh, yeah.
And now I'm happy.
So your test on your potentially deadly disease is delayed?
Postpone it a year and a half, too.
Wait a minute. Fax machine?
Yes.
What is this, 1993?
Yes.
Fax machine? There are still some places that use faxes.
No.
Yeah, for real.
Impossible.
Like, I think medical records are one of them, right?
I think so.
Can they not send a digital file?
Send it by a pigeon carrier next time.
No, I'm serious.
We'll be faxing you.
Can you even buy a fax machine?
Sure you can.
Of course you could buy them.
Who still makes a fax machine?
Pawn shops.
I threw ours away. We had like an HP 3-in-1 scanner, printer, fax machine. Michelle made me throw that thing away like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, Brothers, Xerox. Yeah, most of them are like the 3-in-1s. Where you can print, fax, or scan.
Yeah.
Show those to kids. They think they're hilarious.
We are getting closer. I'm just going to mention this here, and we'll get in much more depth tomorrow morning. But we're getting closer to a TikTok ban in the United States.
Oh, I love TikTok.
Because, it's either a ban or TikTok might have to be sold to a non-communist Chinese party-related company. So what has happened? We've been following this. I do not use TikTok because I realize that ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, is a Chinese company. And any company that operates in China, any data collected has to be given to the Chinese Communist government. And TikTok, used by billions of people around the planet, is a data collection field day for the Communist Chinese. And they can gather all kinds of data, location data, patterns. There's a lot of intel that they can gather. And you're like, well, wait a sec. There are goofy videos on TikTok. How does this work? Well, because they have access to your phones, that you give them permissions. They learn patterns. They learn locations. They've used TikTok to track people. Folks, don't trust the communist Chinese government. They are doing everything to subvert the United States. And here, by the tens and tens of millions, we're handing over all kinds of American data. Also, the rabbit hole deal, where they're able to really program brains by using an algorithm to keep taking you down certain rabbit holes, so they can have a psychological effect as well by suggesting and having an algorithm bombard you with certain types of videos. So there's a whole psychological play here as well. And the communist Chinese government wishes the United States nothing good. And to hand over all of this data that the Chinese Communist government has full access to is very problematic. So Congress, this has been circulating for a while. I'm not on TikTok. I am giving up tons of exposure. I'm foregoing hundreds of thousands of potential views and hits and massive promotion for this show because my moral compass will not allow me to be on TikTok. And I'm casting aside all of the many views and all the followers that I could have to help promote me and the show. I'm negating that. I'm casting that aside. I'm foregoing that because I just don't want to have my data accessible to the communist Chinese.
You'll be happy to know that we currently do have an active TikTok page.
I told you to delete that.
Hold on. Which I did solely to reserve our name.
Oh, that's what.
But there's nothing on it.
Right.
We have 226 people who will never see any content on their TikTok feed from us.
So we have a TikTok that you built that we basically were squatting our name.
And in our description, it says, TikTok is spying on you. It's operated by the communist Chinese government.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. So if you go to our TikTok, so in the profile, it says TikTok is spying on you. It is operated by the communist Chinese government.
We are not following anyone.
Well, technically, it's operated by ByteDance, but any company that is a Chinese company is required to hand over anything the Chinese Communist government wants. And if you don't think that they're siphoning data out of TikTok, they are absolutely. So Congress is moving toward forcing a sale of TikTok to another company, not a Chinese company, or ban it in the United States. Yeah, there's a House vote that's coming down tomorrow, and that's expected to pass. Bipartisan, Democrats and Republicans. And Joe Biden, the president, said that he would sign the legislation if it hits his desk. And the parent company, ByteDance, is a Beijing-based company. And the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party argues that TikTok creates, quote, an unacceptable risk to the United States and our national security, and it allows the Chinese government to surveil and influence the American public.
Okay. What company?
And that's true.
What company not in the media space already has enough money to buy TikTok? You know, I mean, Meta has their own version of TikTok. YouTube has their own version of YouTube Shorts.
Charmin.
That'd be awesome. I'd watch all those videos.
Charmin. Listen, there are tons of companies that can afford to buy it. It needs to get out of Chinese communist accessible hands. That's what happens. And if that does occur, then I would join TikTok if it were out of a Chinese company that is able to hand all of the data over to the Chinese commies.
I'm not sure you can handle a TikTok. I'm not creative enough.
Okay, thanks.
You have to make videos, right?
Yeah, well, I make
Dances?
videos.
It's all dances.
We put up videos every day of what we do here.
You can't put a video up of making rice.
So the bottom line is either if the bill passes, they'll have to sell the company to a non-Chinese company, so there wouldn't be Beijing Communist Party access, or it'll be blocked. So if it's not sold, if TikTok says, no, we're not selling it, then TikTok would be blocked.
Clock blocked.
What?
Yeah, TikTok clock blocked.
Talk block.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know what I said.
What did you
clock?
I didn't hear.
Coffee's kicking in.
I think I said clock block.
No,
but I don't know.
No,
you didn't.
You meant to say talk blocked, which TikTok blocked.
I didn't hear what you said.
I think I said a bad word. I'm sorry.
Did I need to dump that?
Doesn't matter now.
It's too late now. I didn't hear it.
My intention was clock block, but I have oatmeal in my mouth. So if Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, buys TikTok, you're a part of it then, right? You're signing up?
Kevin O'Leary doesn't have the money to buy
it's a rumor.
TikTok.
It's floating around out there.
Maybe I'll throw down $50 billion for it.
Yeah, why doesn't Elon buy it?
Elon Musk. What is the value? What would the cost be if TikTok had to be sold? But hey, folks, things are about to get pretty interesting over the next couple of days.
Kevin O'Leary, really? I mean, that guy is like nothing, like 50 mil.
I don't know.
That's not nothing.
There are stories circulating that he wants to buy it. I mean, he could get a group together to buy it.
Yeah. I want to buy the moon. All right?
Get a group together to buy it.
Yeah. And listen, it's bipartisan. You've got two senators. You've got Senator Mark Warner and Marco Rubio say that TikTok is a national security issue. Yeah. And I concur. I've been saying this all along. I was saying this before it was even in the news. I've been saying this before it was fashionable.
And you give me crap about my conspiracies.
Al Pacino is saying that he's not to blame for screwing up the whole Oscar thing.
Wasn't me. I didn't do it. What happened?
Hey, Andrew, can you let me know when you have the Al Pacino just opening up the envelope for Best Picture at the Oscars Sunday night without reading or sending it off to the video for the 10 nominees for Best Picture. And all of the suspense, all of the drama, all of the recapping of the 10 films was completely blown apart. And also, I mentioned on yesterday's program, it's problematic because when you have an audience of tens and tens and tens of millions, maybe even 100 million plus when you look at international viewership, when you have that kind of viewership, the Best Picture category, or really any of the categories, when they show all the nominees, those are mini ads. And the movie companies, I think, rely on the fact that it's one last, chance to push the movie, that even if your movie doesn't win, you got the recognition and the mention of it being a Best Picture nominee. And that was crap canned. That was just completely skipped over. So I'm telling you, the movie companies were not happy in not getting, on the Oscars with tens and tens of millions of viewers, the recognition, the promotion of having their movie mentioned as a Best Picture nominee. It was skipped right over by Al Pacino. But according to TMZ, Al Pacino's very awkward moment at the Oscars wasn't his fault.
Of course not.
He told TMZ, there seems to be some controversy about me not mentioning every film by name last night before announcing the Best Picture award. I just want to be clear, it was not my intention to omit them, rather a choice by the producers not to have them said again since they were highlighted individually throughout the ceremony. I don't.
They did spend a reasonable amount of time focusing on all 10 movies.
But you always
say them.
You can't say all 10. That would take forever.
You put up the nominees. You read absolutely. That was an absolute mistake. He said it wasn't his fault. He's trying to say that's like the Pee Wee Herman deal where he falls off the bike in front of the kids and he says,
"Did I do that?" Ha ha. Yeah.
That's not what Pee Wee Herman said.
He says, I meant to do that.
I meant to do that. Sorry, I got him confused with Urkel. Urkel said, "Did I do that? Got any cheese?"
10 wonderful films.
Wonderful.
Were nominated, but only one will take the award for Best Picture. And I have to go to the envelope for that. And I will. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
And my eyes see Oppenheimer.
I don't know. Is Oppenheimer?
Yes. Yes. Emma Thomas, Charles Roman.
What are you laughing at, my wig? You laughing at my wig?
See, there was no fanfare there. It was like
he didn't say, and the Oscar goes to.
No. It just kind of leaked out. It just seeped out. It was.
My eyes see Oppenheimer. Let's open the envelope in Oppenheimer.
It was the most anticlimactic announcement of the final and the biggest award of the night. Let me see here. My eyes see.
Let me see.
I can't see. My cataracts.
Oh.
I got to go out and get my cataracts done at the Brandon Eye Clinic over there.
I need a Ricola.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so
you think the producers are going to ban Al?
No, but
never.
But for him to say that he meant to do that and that's what they wanted, I don't believe that for a minute.
Have they said
No.
Have they said that?
9:45. I haven't seen the producers concur.
No.
Screw him. He couldn't sell a hooker on a troop train.
9:45 at the MJ Morning Show. Let's give away the 4-pack of Busch Gardens tickets right now. You can experience the fun of Busch Gardens, as well as experience the Busch Gardens Food and Wine Festival, which is now through May 19th. A 4-pack Busch Gardens tickets, all yours right now. If you're caller number...
How about 50?
Al, that's a good number, Al. I like that number.
For every inch of my shoe lift.
All right.
50
All right, caller 50, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Folks, have a great day. Thanks for listening to the MJ Morning Show, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, and let's be careful out there.
The Q105 app is your connection to all the big content.